City is almost definitively older than the concept of any kind of state. But that's what makes the concept of state and country a bit softer than the definition of city. City is far more precise than state, interestingly.
But it makes sense. Yeah. But, right, you can have a city-state, yeah. But Vincent, you're saying that the further you get above a city, the more of an abstract concept you get.
Well, but it's technically like a philosophical, etymological, anthropological, historical question. Cities are the real history of like human mass organization, right? When they were out in the hinterlands and tribal plains moving nomadically, that was never a state. That was never an organization of any such size. Like maybe they had armies, I don't know. But like that was not over a particular region until you get to state era. They don't have that like conception of like beyond that until after cities come first. First they have an idea of the cities, these big like hubs where a bunch of the people are, main streets, commerce, farmers trading their wares, and then like that commerce produces enough wealth that you get centers of authorities. So the cities often seats of power older than a state or country, which has shifted. It hasn't always been a state or a country. Sometimes kingdom or land or regions or realms. All of these are vaguer terms. Like city has been kind of stable as a term as far back as we've been using it. State and country have shifted a bit as we've defined the right of states or monarchies to exist more recently, historically. So, like, it is a fun question. Does a state have a right to exist? Before you ask whether a state has a right to exist, you gotta say, what is the state? City's a little easier. Like, you can really isolate the regions geographically of a city. State, the borders are gonna shift, their names are gonna change, the languages will change. Sometimes they'll end up on a different part of the globe. You'll get a New York and a New Jersey. States are tricky.
I think that states are actually just like the similar definition to a city, but just larger, right? Before that, they were more so empires, and empire, at least in the Western sense, the empire decided to isolate themselves instead of spilling out and spreading and creating conflict with each other. They decided to create a more clearly defined border structure to encapsulate their territory and their power and their legal structure and their municipality.
Yeah, and I think, at least, that the concepts of city and state are contrasting from each other. They're both different conceptions of the development. I think city is a little bit biological and organic, harmonizing other people, and then that results in a general kind of domination over the regions nearby beyond the actual, like even if you were to define these exact borders of, say, London, you're still going to say beyond that, this thing is having an effect on it. And you're going to say that there's some broader notion. And the state, in my opinion, is a bit of a reaction from the broader region saying, we're encompassing this city in this broader bubble so that we can have like a voice from the rural or suburban perspective. That it not just be like sort of a black hole sucking into the city, which we've seen happen in different places.
Can we address what's going on in the chat? You know, if your neighbor has guns, rockets, machine guns, grenades, and they constantly kill you with them, well, guess what the military does? They go across the border and they kill the killers. And guys like Honey, I hate to say it, but you could be a pussy.
That sounds like a candidate for U.S. Congress.
She doesn't have a problem with shooting and killing people as long as it's her people doing it right.
Well, see, in our world, or clown world, it's called security or safety. And when violent terrorists try to kill you, you kill them first. That's called common sense.
And what's weird is that when somebody says genocide, I say, okay, what's your definition? Do you tend to wipe out a people? So I say, well, how Hamas put it in writing, and then they did it. Then they leave the room because the facts are right in their face, and they're just indisputable. And I'm sorry about Denise, Scott, but again, if you have a spin and somebody counters your spin, and that makes them uncomfortable, then they leave. I mean, yes, Trump has many bad things. He's clumsy. He's petulant. He's vengeful. He's egotistical. He puts his name on things. It's weird. But he's doing things that needed to be done, and apparently the system that we had in place was not able or willing to do those things. Things like telling NATO you're going to have to pay your fair share. Things like exercising American military force against our adversary, China. The war in Iran is a war against China's proxy. The Islamic Revolutionary Genocide Corps is China's proxy. And we had to give them a big kibosh because China is watching us to see what they're going to do about the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Taiwan. That's what this is all about. And it's hard for some people to think Hormuz. Yes, Iran has tried to close Hormuz before. And they like to reduce this war to one narrow strait is to miss the bigger picture, which are the nukes. The big picture is the nukes.
Yeah, they seem to be the nukes, but I think historically, if we look at it right, what was the at least the wars around the Spanish Inquisition about? They're about a similar thing about people in the East cutting off the people in the West from trading with the East, right? Or people in, I guess, what they call the Middle East, in the middle of the East and the West, cutting people off from making those trades. It's about power and control of the current world situation. You know, I think the nukes are sort of a side project or issue. Israel is definitely about the nukes because they don't want to be nuked, but definitely about like which side of the world is going to like maintain a dominance and control over it. And when you are possibly going to destroy some a collection of people, especially the more powerful people's economy, which I think is what China is planning on doing, at least in the long run, to destroy that of the West or America's economy and the petrodollar, then the consequences are going to be a retaliation.
I want to say, Norm, I don't think that the rationale for the war is as clear as you're making it. I think that, Bill Maher said, couldn't all the reasons that have been given be true to Josh Shapiro? And Shapiro said, what he would have done differently is come on the front end and be really clear. And I think the administration has not done that. Now, you could say that's just Trump, right? I mean, he sort of acts first. And I mean, I remember that in the 2016 debates when they were asking Trump about gun rights, and they said, that you have to give people due process, with gun rights. And Trump goes, I think you get the guns and give them their due process later. And that's how he thinks, right? I mean, it's not, I don't think he has a conception of what constitutional norms or rights are, or what the liberal tradition is. I mean, he's just, you could say, as you said, he's a man of action, man of destiny. I mean, yeah, that may be the case, but I don't think he understands traditional.
I agree with you.
I mean, if I remember correctly, at one point he said that he's the president, he is the Constitution.
He says crazy stuff. There's no question about it. But the point is that he's doing things that have needed to be done for a long time. We should have done this to Iran a long time ago. We tried to, what's the word I want? I want to make a verb out of
appeasement.
Diplomat.
Appeasement.
Diplomatize them out of it. Negotiate. We tried to negotiate them out of it for decades. We did the same thing with North Korea. Jason, I'm glad you're here. We tried to talk North Korea out of having a bomb. It didn't work. And it didn't work with the Islamic Revolutionary Genocide Corps. It ain't working. Meanwhile, I mean, one of the big triggers of this war was the people rising up in January. That was a big thing. And then the fact that all the mullahs were going to be in one place so we could take out the supreme leader. That was a big blow. That was, in a sense, a regime change. Because it's not the same, but by the way, it's no longer, run by a religious leader. Now it's being run by what? The Speaker of the Majlis, which is their parliament. So yes, the regime has changed. They're in disarray. They're running around like a. It's just weird that the reasons are so clear. The reasons have always been no nukes. And the fact that people won't accept that is puzzling to me. Like, why can't people say that the reason is no nukes? Everybody knows that that's the case. Why can't people say that?
Well, it's because they constantly say Zionists, murderers, genocide, apartheid. It's because they have all the negative linguistics, but they fail to understand that if Iran got a bomb and they wiped Israel off the face of the earth, the truth is these people who say they don't care about Israel. They don't care about the Jews. They would be happy to see the Zionist genocide state obliterated because they themselves are obnoxious, terrible people. That's the truth.
Well, it weakens your argument when you throw in obnoxious, terrible, but what you say is true. Yes, they want
Honestly,
Israel to be attacked. Huh?
that strikes me as a really kind of fun movie. I'd like to do a sort of found footage video within like a pro-Palestinian college campus encampment, responding to and witnessing the nuclear detonation of a bomb in Jerusalem by Iran, and then I just want to see the conversation.
Well, then you get.
Wouldn't that be a great
Mixette, what do you think dinner with?
Camera phones that are at the event? Wouldn't that be fun?
What do you think dinner with Andre was all about? You didn't understand what dinner and Andre was about.
So this is how you set it up, Mixette. So you call them in to do an experiment, right? You say, oh, we're going to test it, and then they hang on, breaking news. Now we have to stop the experiment.
Do you think I do it like a prank on groups of people and I film the results every time? That's pretty smart. I agree with you.
That could be done.
It could be done. You're right. It could straight up be done 100 times.
Okay, I would do this with you.
That would make money, dude.
I would do this with you.
We could sell this. This idea should sell.
This is a great idea.
But this would not really matter to anyone who wasn't already sympathetic to Israel. It wouldn't make any difference. And this is a classic example of these kind of things that people on the pro-Israel side come up with and say that is not persuasive to anyone. Okay, and you guys put a huge amount of effort into stuff that just accomplishes nothing.
It's the same thing with Charlie Kirk's assassination.
It's a prank, bro.
Absolutely nothing.
It's a prank, bro.
But it would accomplish nothing.
It's the same thing with Charlie Kirk's assassination.
It would be damn good television, and I would pay to see it.
Well, politically correct in other rooms on this app after Kirk's assassination, they were gleeful, joyful, dancing, celebrating, screaming with joy. That's the same type of endorphin and dopamine response that would happen if people were informed that Israel was nuked. That's exactly what would happen.
How long would it be, McFadden? Is he here?
I'm still here, yeah.
What happened to Scott?
You're saying how long do you process that through the thing? Well, I was.
No, how long is the film? Half an hour? 90 minutes? What?
Well, I was thinking it through as a story. Since it would be found footage, it would be roughly 2 hours, roughly.
Wow.
So meaning you get something 30 minutes before, and then within that 30 minutes you're getting the news and settling down, and then they all hanker in so that we're all just in a room. I was thinking in terms of a movie, and then the other 90 minutes are just the conversations that develop organically amongst the group. But you're saying oh, let's do it like a prank. We'll leave them locked in a room, thinking this is true for 3 hours, 5 hours. So you get other ideas. You can poke them. If you're producing it, you can really just play with them.
No, what you do is you have a group of panelists that hate Israel, and you get them to talk about the conflict for 2 hours, and then you say breaking news: Iran has detonated a nuclear bomb, and then it's a hidden camera show.
They might expect it, though. If we're already talking about Israel, then they're going to know this is a bit of a trick. But if we're talking about something else entirely, then it would come as a shock, so they wouldn't be able. Oh yeah, we can say before you go in, no, people have to turn their phones in. This experiment won't allow for any phones.
That's already suspicious, dude.
It is, but you can come up with a reason for that. There's
How
a
many
test
take
or
your phones
something.
away?
There's a test or something.
Yeah, I'm just saying you have to think through
So,
the
But it's
traffic.
like, how do you get the right people? And that's where I think you got to come up with. I think a taste test is the right way. We're gonna do
That's funny.
Turkish coffee. It's a Turkish coffee taste test.
That's what.
And so, yeah, so you'll get all these people in there, and you'll get the right kind of people. And the other thing I was thinking is you could do something that's like definitely going to bring you college students, or definitely going to bring you Democratic Socialists of America, right? Like, what'll bring you DSA party members?
Wait, actually, I think the World Affairs Forum with Amir is actually already the movie that you're looking for, and I film it every single evening on YouTube.
You film that room every evening?
No, not every evening. Not every, but for a while I was, but it's just, it's so boring, essentially. But he's on, what is it, day 59 or something? He holds the show every day.
And what did they say about the war? They're against it. They're for it.
I actually don't listen to it anymore. I've out processed. I'm simply in the recording industry. I don't listen to anything. I just simply record and submit.
You're just the technician. You're an engineer.
Correct. I'm a producer, engineer. What I don't understand is why, people come in so hot on Trump and say he's a pederast and a cannibal. I mean, are they completely delusional? Like, have you seen any evidence to suggest that he was involved in any of this type of activity? I have not. It's just slander, defamation against our great president.
And Norma, are you familiar with the prophecy that the current Pope is the last Pope? The 112th Pope. Are you familiar with this?
I feel like I've heard it.
Yeah. So the whole idea is Israel got independent in 1948. But it's only until 1993 there is official recognition of Israel by the Vatican Pope. Are you familiar with this? Are you familiar with this?
I've heard it.
So that means the entire Catholic in US, those swing states, they don't recognize Israel.
What 3 states?
I mean, there are certain swing states in US, they are full of Catholic, right? They don't recognize Israel.
That's interesting.
So the whole idea is this thing started about 1,900 years ago, and it is this is a blind spot for Jewish because you're not supposed to understand anything of the New Testament and what is going on there, so you have no idea why this hostility toward you, right? So the question now is, according to the prophecy, which is around 1,000 years ago, there's this Irish bishop. He had the gift, and he basically predicted 112 Pope, the name. And according to my investigation, many believe they are quite accurate. And usually for the first 111, it's just a couple of words, but the last one is a paragraph, and that describes the current Pope Francis. And so the problem with Pope Francis right now is whether he accepts that prophecy. That means he's the last Pope. That means that is the end of Vatican once he's gone. So that is one way of thinking of it, and because he's the last Pope, the paragraph say correctly, he's the end time Pope. that means he has to accept the fact that during this time there is a lot of tribulation.
Honey, you were pathetic. Just use your voice. You don't need to be a chat warrior.
That means
Speak.
today we just saw Japan get another 7.5 earthquake with a potential tsunami, and they have already registered about close to 1 meter tsunami. Yeah, but and then there are war. Right, and we already seen the war, Ukraine war, Middle East war,
See how
and
Dave
so on.
uses his voice
So
to
all these
express
are
his
signs
opinions?
of tribulation, and Pope Francis should accept this truth.
Honey, come make
This is an
your
end time,
points.
and it's not the time to preach about peace. You should only preach about peace after the end time, right? And therefore,
Let's hear your
we have a contradiction here,
grand,
right? He's going around talking about peace
utopia.
in denial that he's the last pope and it is tribulation. His job is to help people to prepare.
Honey, come make your points about reality, history, and human behavior. Let's hear about your grand utopia.
Enough. Actually,
According
many
to Honey.
churches are failing, right? And so very behind schedule, and everything is written in the New Testament. Obviously, if you are Jews, you reject all this stuff, and therefore it's a blind spot for the Jews not to have a bad.
Hey Ahmed, mute your mic.
End time, and therefore you don't understand why they are, Tucker Carlson and all these Catholic. Yeah, that is they are brought up in this lack of understanding. Israel is not a physical Israel, and therefore they reject the physical Israel. So it's only 1993 officially they recognize physical Israel, but only until the German Pope Benedict in 2003 he started the whole process of talking about fulfillment framework. That means Israel is fulfillment, and is a direct challenge to many people. I think it could be Scott as well. They are practicing replacement theology, and that has been going on for 1,900 plus years.
Hang on 1 second, Dave. I think I find your theories fascinating, but I'm worried that other people may struggle with them because it's a lot to take in. So let me
go slowly. Yeah, ask question then.
Yeah, let me put a pause in it for a second. I'm just going to mute you up. I just want to say, does anybody else want to come up to the stage and share their reactions? Number one, do you think that Trump should resign? Number two, do you think that resigning would redeem him? Number three, if you think Trump should resign, why do you think he should resign? Again, you have to look at it from his point of view because it would have to be obviously his decision. All right. Meanwhile,
Norma, I'd like to answer that.
Okay, good.
And I want to actually make a prediction.
All right, sounds good. Take it away, Randy.
I'm going to predict that Trump will not resign.
You're really sticking your neck out there. Could you want to give us a little more?
Well, A, it's a gut. It's a gut. It's just my gut. And B, I think that resignation, one thing we know about Trump is that he's not a quitter. He's just not a quitter. And I think he's kind of, there's a lot of different views out there about this war. But I don't believe that, I think this war, the current war, and I've had people say, hey, it's not a war, it's just something, it's something else. It's only Congress can declare one. Yeah. But no, I'm going to call it a war. And he does care about his legacy. He does. I to the point where I think that, we hear rumors of one of the Trump children even getting into politics, or one or more of them getting into politics. So I think he does care about his legacy. I do think that he would love to tidy up this conflict. He'd love to tie it up with a bow, and His idea of a successful war is what happened in Venezuela. They got somebody out, no soldiers died, or no Americans died, and regime change, or he'll call it regime change. You know, that's his idea of a good war. Iran has turned into much. I think Iran has turned into a much bigger mess than he imagined, but I don't think he wants his legacy to be a failed war, because Iran, they're not the kind of people where you can have a ceasefire with them and then they'll go quietly away. They'll be crowing like, yay, we defeated the USA, we won. So I don't think he wants that. I think he's going to, he's looking for ways to get out of this with as little mess as possible, but I don't believe that resignation is on the list of options for him. I mean,
what if he bombs the hell out of the Islamic Revolutionary Genocide Corps and gets out of there?
I mean, we certainly have the mother of all bombs. There's more that could be done.
But
he wants to win the minds and hearts of the people, of the American people and the Iranian people. He wants to be the hero, and I think he's carefully calibrating. Sure, listen, look over in Russia, Ukraine. Do I believe that Russia is holding back firepower? They have. Have they really delivered everything they possibly could in Ukraine? No, I'd say no. I think they've held back because they still want to win the minds and hearts of the people. Maybe I'm mixing metaphors.
So now you
but
Republican?
I think he's carefully calibrating it. That has always been an option. Look, the U.S. has nuclear weapons. No one is really suggesting that we use nuclear weapons on Iran. I don't think Trump wants to be known as a president who did that. The first president in 75 years to use a nuclear weapon. But he doesn't want to lose. But I don't believe that of all the things that are on his list, like all of the outcomes that are being presented to him, I don't believe anyone is presenting him resignation. That he is not a quitter.
okay, so that was a sort of a spiritual redemption thing. I just want to move it around and make sure. I mean, there's a lot of people in the room. Does anybody else want to come up and talk about whether Trump should resign? Why should they resign? What would you want? What's that, Johnny? Johnny boy? Allahu Akbar?
What he should do is,
Hi, Randy.
What the fucking guys? He should
keep my name out of your wife's mouth. Okay?
You know what, Randy?
Keep my name out of your wife's mouth, sir.
Okay, let's not. I don't want to scrape the bottom here.
Okay, listen, here's the thing. I think what Trump should do...
You know, Randy means in Hindi prostitute. Randy?
You seem to like saying my name. Thank you, sir.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, I'd love
Please
that.
do.
We'd love that.
Okay. It would be great if he would resign, but he doesn't have it in him to resign. He will go down screaming the same way that the Islamic Republic will go down screaming. Neither of the two are willing to give an inch. Neither of the two will resign.
If Trump resigned, it would be Vance. Would that be better?
I mean, I think Vance has more experience, but I don't think it'd be better. I think all three who are in line to become presidents wouldn't be better. I think we're in a really bad state right now, and I don't know where we're going to go from here. And if Trump uses the nuclear bomb or flattens Iran, the people in Iran are not going to be happy. Right now, we've killed to the top supreme leaders, but now the IRGC is in charge, and they're far worse. Same way as the MEK would be far worse. So we're really in shit right now, in my opinion.
Now, you're maybe the only person this morning, one of the few people, period, who understand that previously it was a theocracy, the theocratic layer, that's hard to say, the theocratic layer has sort of been eliminated, right? That was the supreme leader and the mullahs. So now we're in a slightly different position. Could you help us to understand who this Islamic Revolutionary, I call them the Genocide Corps rather than the Guard Corps, the IRGC, but could you help us to understand What is this IRGC, and why is it even worse than where we were before?
Well, I mean, I don't know for a fact because I don't know exactly. I think Arash would know more, but I think a lot of people in the IRGC are not actually Iranians. Neither were the supreme leaders, but they don't give a shit. None of them give a shit about Iran.
Who are they?
They could care less if Iran was bombed.
Are they from Africa?
They don't care. They don't care about the country. The people do, and the people do. People want this regime to change. They want the supreme leaders gone. They want the IRGC gone. They want their freedom. But I don't know how they're gonna feel if a nuclear bomb is used. I mean, how would we feel, right?
Well, let's back away from the nuclear bomb because hi, brother. Nobody wants to use a nuclear bomb because that's going to start a nuclear war in the end of the world. So let's say we stop short of that, but we are talking now about escalating. We've moved tons of troops to the region, and Trump is governing under what is known as the madman theory. Maybe you knew this, Hope, which was originally pioneered by the great, and I say that ironically, Richard Milhous Nixon, who Kissinger would go around saying, listen, I don't know about this guy. He's a little crazy. He'll do anything. Which is why we've moved all those troops to the region, even though the country America really doesn't want to see troops on the ground. But, the idea is, well, Trump will do it anyway. It's his last term. And Trump is capable of escalating the devastation. One second, brother. Trump is capable of escalating the devastation on Iran. Do you think we should escalate, Hope?
I mean, I think the only way we can get rid of the people that are there now in charge is to have troops on the ground. I don't think bombing the country is the way to go.
All right, now hang on because Kaz wanted to speak. If that's okay, I'll just move it around because you seem to have something. I put you on the spot too, which I apologize for. Kaz, what do you have to contribute?
Why should Trump resign? Why would the greatest president in American history resign? That's one. Third, well, if he says it, I believe it. You know what I'm saying? And three, the 2020 election was rigged, and they about to do
So,
something.
Kaz, you love Trump, in short.
Yeah, I fuck with Trump.
Well, and now, is it fair to say, may I be so presumptuous to say you might be an American black man?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Zygazun. And tell us, why, as an American black man, you love this guy?
Because I'm not just like most dumbass, stupid ass black people that don't know shit, that just want to be a victim all day. And I was born in Haiti, so I don't think all these vaccines, they ain't shoot my mother with all these vaccines, clogging my brain, judgment and shit. But yeah, I fuck with Trump because I see the good shit he's doing. I'm logical, so I resonate with logical people. Why wouldn't you need an ID to fucking vote? Like, what sense does that make? If somebody doesn't like that, then those people probably cheat and try to cheat during the elections. Why would anybody like closing the borders or, just doing what we need to do, fixing Obama's bullshit mess, giving Iran money, giving Iran money and shit with Hillary Clinton's uranium bullshit.
We didn't give Iran the money. We gave Iran the money that belonged to Iran. It didn't go to the people. It went to the government, but it's the money that belongs to the Iranian country.
Listen, here's the thing, right? It's hard to tell. People love to say that it belongs to Iran. Like, bro, it's like that's the most.
I'm Iranian. That money belonged to the country. It belonged to the people.
Listen, bro.
Don't listen.
If I have money,
bro.
If I have money, right? If I have $100 million and I owe you money, and you're talking about you're gonna kill me, right? It wouldn't be best to give you the money, one. And plus the thing you don't understand about this deal is these people that funded back the money. So they paid Iran money and Iran just paid it back under the table just to pay corrupt government politicians, bro. Y'all don't know what's really going on, man.
You know what's really going on?
Yes.
I don't know. You don't seem to be able to speak very eloquently. I don't know.
I'm just distracted right now, but if you think that, if you think what's going on, the
on a surface level, there's what's actually going on. You're somebody we call sheep. You know, you guys believe in surface level. You guys always believe in the story you're being told, but have no discernment to understand what's actually going on. And I really, you people should stay out of politics because when people argue with you guys take something like, oh, it's a Rams.
Are you people? Yes. Do you mean white people?
No, just any. It doesn't matter the race, bro. I'm not talking about race, bro. It don't matter the race. It's anybody that, for example, oh, we owed Iran that money. You'd have to be a dumbass.
We didn't owe them the money.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That means we owe them the money. That means we owe them the money.
No,
so were you correct?
No, it's money that belonged to them.
So that means we owe you the money. That means we owe you the money. If you want to play semantics, we can stick on this point. That means I owe it to you. If it belongs to you, I owe you that money. That's what that means. We speak English, don't we?
I speak English much better than you do.
See, you're in competition with me. You're not in competition with you.
All right. Let's keep it really friendly and courteous.
Right. Like, I hate
to everybody. Hope is my friend, Kat.
I hate
Hope
women
is
on
my friend.
Clubhouse because Hope needs someone fucking Hope because I hate women on Clubhouse because they're always feminists and they always think that.
I'm not feminist.
Wait, let's not make that.
They always have to be.
Let's talk about it.
Like, you see how I'm talking?
Let's talk about Iran.
You see how I'm talking and she's talking about we're talking about Iran, but your friend Hope keeps talking about the way I speak and how she's better at speaking.
All right.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Please don't do that. Be nice.
Be mature.
Yeah.
But these people always think the surface level shit is what's actually going on because they have no discernment and judgment to actually figure out why these things are happening, why Trump says the thing he says, why does Trump joke around about Obama and Hillary Clinton being arrested, why does Trump always criticize the deal Obama made with Iran, why? And they think that they think they're told everything. You guys are not told everything because you guys are idiots. So you guys have to believe the surface level shit.
But Cass, have you been told something that we don't know?
I've done my research on things that I know are facts.
It's called intuition.
Yes, I know a lot of things that people, well, I wouldn't say you don't know, you just don't want to believe because the government didn't tell you themselves, right? Or there's not a .org link behind it, you know? So there's a different type of people out here. You know, some people just need that .org or they need to hear from CNN and they don't understand when they're being lied to. I can't argue with people that don't understand they're being lied to.
I'm Iranian and I grew up in politics. I'm Iranian and I grew up in politics, so I think I know much more than you do.
Yeah. See, people that grew up in politics, I don't know what analogy to use. It's just y'all don't know what's really going on because you guys are getting lied to by the people that are right next to you. You know, they're not telling you what's going on. They look at you like sheep.
No, but they tell you. They tell you.
No, the information is out there for anybody that wants.
Hope, he has an opinion, you know that, right? Like, it's his opinion, Hope. I mean, you don't have to actually attack him personally.
I didn't attack him.
Yeah, bro, I can read your tone. You're getting upset over my opinion.
I'm not upset at all. I'm just saying, you're saying we're all idiots. I'm sorry.
You're an idiot. You want to attack my point. Oh, you want to attack my point, so you're
Okay, let's not do that, guys. This is very low level. Let's go high level now. I want to move the mic around a little bit. NPC, non-playable. And Kaz, thank you for your contribution. Hope, thank you as well. But let's have no infighting, you children, or I'm going to have to stop the car. Don't make me stop this car. All right, non-playable character.
We're all on the same team here.
That's
what
right.
Jennifer, I wasn't attacking her first.
Okay, Kaz, I know that. I know that. All right, NPC, non-playable character. Would you like to weigh in, sir? Sure, sir.
Jumo, I am so surprised.
Jumo.
Yeah, I was called that.
I don't like that though. Why didn't you call me by my name? Why you call me out my name?
You stupid.
Why you call me out my name?
Your black accent is so. It's actually offensive how
it's
not black you. Because you don't even sound black.
But I'm not black. Why would I sound black?
Anyway, I'm offended on behalf of Trump because all Trump did is listen to you and your people. He's controlled by you and your people. That's all. And now you want
in the conversation. He's controlled by me?
Yes.
I want $1 billion. Give me money, Trump.
You already have $1 billion.
Hallelujah. Okay, I want another.
So tell me why you have an issue with him, because if the Jews have an issue with him, then who? If the Jews have an issue with him, then who doesn't? Like, he's been doing everything for y'all,
How do
right?
you control him, by the way? What's your theory?
My theory?
Yes.
My theory is that Trump probably listens to people who he's close to, and the Zionist lobby
Yes.
is closer to him than shit is to stink. Like, it
Well,
just.
how did they get so close?
Well, they married his daughter. That's number one. They married his daughter,
Wait,
and then they also gave him money.
Hi, this is Ethan from.
And they also tried to assassinate him a few times, but.
Everybody. Whoa. So wait, so he likes to do what people who assassinate him tell him to do?
He's afraid of. Donald Trump understands that he's not the most powerful person in the world.
I have a question for you, bro. If the Jews are so powerful, how come 6 million of them were killed? I mean, how do you reconcile that?
That didn't happen, bro.
I don't think the number was that high.
It was
But,
like high.
No.
But,
5 million?
A couple hundred thousand maybe.
yeah. But that was one point in time in a certain country,
By the way,
in a certain society.
It was
You
about
saw
10
you guys for
countries.
what you were, and that.
It happened in about 10 countries, just so you know. You know, the Holocaust happened across not just one country. Poland, Russia, Germany, France, Romania, Hungary.
If you believe that,
Jews were killed all over the place. It wasn't just one country. You know, you come here, you got to know your history if you want to fuck with us.
All right, if you drop out of school, then you're going to be at a disadvantage in this conversation. Let's move it around. Jason, did you want to remind me?
Connie said slavery was a choice. I disagree. I don't think it was a choice.
I think
We disagree with you.
I was easy.
it's worth pointing out that, you know, the Jews bounced back after that happened. And they, you know, took over again. And
The population is still worldwide, not at the level that it was in 1939.
no, I mean, that's true. That's true.
Their population is less today. In the meantime, Palestinians went from 500,000 to 5 million. So,
They bounced back to controlling the world again, right?
did they?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, the world.
World? Not even the U.S. You're going to say the whole world now.
We use a Ouija board, Randy.
Yeah.
Wow.
We use a Ouija board to control the world.
You'd think people would be embarrassed by these, to say these things, but they say them.
Randy, he's being ironic.
All right, I don't know anymore. What do I know? I'm trying to work, and here I am getting distracted by this stuff.
Bro, normal.
Kaz, if you don't think the Holocaust happened, I really encourage you to go to a library today. Go to the history section and find a picture book. It's in the pictures. It's fully documented.
So there's the problem.
Why do you think Germany been paying reparations, or did pay reparations?
Oh my God.
Speaking of reparations, where's
you
my
guys don't
money?
understand nothing, bro.
That's
You
fine.
guys don't even know why World War II started, bro.
We want reparations from
Okay,
people.
how did it start,
About
guys?
World War II.
How did it start, guys? How did
Under
it start?
Pharaoh.
So basically,
We want.
right, the
Let's
Soviet,
stay on Iran. Let's stay on Iran. I don't want to predict.
the Soviet Union massacred a whole bunch of Polish people and blamed it on Germany. Germany was the one that reported that shit. And in the U.S., the U.S. just didn't believe Germany, and then they made propaganda that they blamed Germany when Germany is the person that reported it to everybody. They're like, damn, they murdered all these Polish people. Germany reported it. That's what the United States blamed it on Germany. That's why years later, the Soviet Union, they admitted to doing that massacre.
Let's get back to Iran.
Yeah, but let's get back to it. But basically, yeah, bro. Trump knows what he's doing. These people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And you can't say because he's helping Jews. Not all Jewish people are bad, but the bad people are Jewish, you know. But not all of them are bad, bro.
Yes, the cause of all the world's problems are the Jews, essentially.
What about New
Jews,
York
but not every Jew is responsible. You know what I'm saying?
In fact, I stubbed my toe yesterday, and I'm pretty sure it was the fault of a Jew. And it still hurts, by the way, and I want reparations for that. All right, Elle, what do you have to do? How would you like to weigh in, Elle?
Elle, you just skipped over me.
Bro, I didn't see you. You can go next. Elle, do you want to go or you want Tada to go first, Elle?
I would love to hear the doc go first.
All right, there you go.
This is some highbrow conversation.
Yes.
Okay, so to answer the question, should Trump resign to be redeemed?
Yes, thank you for getting us back to the topic.
You're welcome. I don't think there's any redemption for Trump. I think that Trump has great ideas, but does not have a plan for completion. Even if we start with the tariffs, if you're going to tax the imports, prior to doing that, you should probably build up the infrastructure so that the American consumer doesn't feel the wrath of your tariffs, pretty much. So
Brilliant. What was your major?
Psychology.
Very brilliant. One of the most brilliant analyses I've heard, on Clubhouse. Period. Keep going, please. You're welcome.
As far as the war in Iran, I just think again it's just an uncompleted plan. I think what needs to happen is it should have been like years. People knew that if you were to attack Iran, you would have to deal with the Strait of Hormuz. That was just part of it. So I don't know what could have been done, but I just know that there needed to be a better strategy. And the only thing that I would have to say is that if Israel and America are allies, they both have to be on the same page. And from what Marco Rubio said, that the only reason why they attacked is because Israel was going to attack. So before they got attacked back, they attacked Iran. Whatever the PR campaign is terrible, and it's making the American people really distrust government. And when you lose the people, you lose those who are going to put the people in power to move forward with your agenda. So I just think that there's no redemption for Trump. He just needs to rethink his strategy.
Well, I want to clarify something about Rubio. I mean, Trump, Rubio, and the Minister of War, Pete Hegseth said during the negotiations before the war that there were 4 demands that the U.S. was making, and that was no nukes, no ballistic missiles, no terrorist sponsorship, and no attacking your own people. Those, like, you could call them the 4 no's. And as a person with a larger than average nose, I like that designation, the 4 no's. And then when somebody said to Rubio, as he was sort of in transit getting off a plane, why now? He said, well, I mean, Israel and the U.S. were sharing intelligence, and Israel thought this was an opportune time, and that if Iran responded, they'd hit American bases, so it would be better to do it at this time. And U.S. because we share intelligence. So the idea that Israel dragged us, and I think is sort of a misunderstanding of what Rubio said. But the reasons for the war start with no nukes. That's clear all along. We've been working on no nukes in Iran for decades, really, and they've proven themselves to be unreliable in diplomatic solution to this problem. Same way North Korea, as somebody said yesterday, one of the admirals, North Korea also was incapable of negotiating about not getting nuclear weapons. So, I mean, I think nuclear non-proliferation, I think, is essential here. Somebody else pointed out yesterday, by the way.
In Chicago, I want to talk about our budget. No one loves paying taxes. They are our shared investment when we spend them wisely. We will make them fairer and simpler, not heavier. In Chicago, I want to talk about our budget. No one loves paying taxes.
By the way, I think there's negotiations in Islamabad today.
Ask you one final question before I let you go. We've talked about it time and time again on Chicago Report, the teen takeovers. A lot of people seem to pass the buck when it comes to this topic. They say, social media is to blame. We rarely hear that people.
So,
ask you one final question before I let you go.
My only pushback is, again, because the PR has been all over the place, the messaging, just the American government, when it comes to saying one thing and meaning something else, they're good for that. So you've lost the trust of the American people. When we were back in June and Trump said we have obliterated the whole system, and you put us under the impression that they don't have the ability to build nuclear weapons because you took everything out, and that's what was told. But now we're a year later and you're doing the exact same thing. So
a year later, it's 50 days later.
Isn't it fair to say that they're rebuilding, or that we didn't get all of them?
Well,
does it have to be so literal?
Because there's some reports
reports that said that there's some reports that people are saying, and again, this is what's in the news. Some people are saying the CIA said that they didn't have the capability. Some people are saying that they do have the capability. It's just been all over the place when it comes to.
What is their intent, though, Tada? What's their goal? Their goal is to get a nuclear bomb and deliver it with a ballistic missile. That's their goal. That's their security package. Tada, you're looking at it from an American perspective. Look at it from their strategy perspective, and you'll understand why America's doing what it's doing.
Alistair, with North Korea, they didn't do anything with North Korea. They didn't do anything with Pakistan. They haven't done anything with all of these countries that have been going for the same goal. Even if it's considered, but now we don't have beef with North Korea. Everybody is playing nice. So it seems like
We do have beef with North Korea.
well, not to the extent.
No, we don't, bro. We're not getting information.
Not to
the sanctions. I can read you what the sanctions are.
North Korea is an exporting revenue to
Nuclear Iran is a must.
But that's what they told us about. They told the same thing about Korea.
This is absolutely a different whole ball of wax in North Korea.
No, they told us the same. I don't know what y'all been listening to, but they told us the exact same thing about North Korea. They said North Korea cannot have a nuclear.
No, we haven't heard from Elliot.
Can I just comment one thing, Norm, here?
Comparing North Korea with nuclear weapons and Iran are two different balls of wax. North Korea, quite literally, wants to be left alone. Iran wants to rule, bring the end of time. Do you understand the difference? We're talking about religious fanaticism. They will murder 40,000 of their own people in weeks to this end. It is not the same.
I'm wrong. I don't disagree with you on this, on some of the urgency. I think, which is all the more reason the messaging is important, because I think in an America that is war weary from Afghanistan and Iraq and is much more skeptical, I think had something like this happened after Iraq won, you wouldn't see nearly the pushback, right? Because after Iraq won, I think America felt really capable in its ability to exert its military dominance in a way that didn't require massive boots on the ground, that wasn't quagmirish. I think after the debacles in Afghanistan and Iraq, the second Iraq, I think to get the American people behind stuff like this, and where you look at the polling, this is not popular, you've just got to be that much better at messaging. And maybe you shouldn't have to be, right? Maybe people should be less emotional. Maybe they should have more rational memories, but we don't, right? And so I think this is what the limits of Trump are. And as Norma said, he's maybe the man of destiny and things, but when you message poorly, when the reason constantly changes, it doesn't seem urgent. It seems chaotic. And I think that the administration has some responsibility for that, to clearly communicate and rally the populace that's, again, really skeptical of intervention. And part of the reason Trump was elected was because he ran as the guy that was not interventionist, right? Twice. And so, and you can change.
Yeah, but Iran has always been on his radar, in particular, and every administration before him.
I'm not denying that.
This is brand new. That's the trouble.
You've got to be persuasive, and he's not persuasive. And that's part of,
I also think there is a faction of people that, he could end cancer, and it wouldn't be good enough. I really do.
Sure, but the level numbers.
But Iran has always been our enemy.
I'm not denying any. I'm not denying any of that. But I'm saying that if this is something urgent, and you're committing possibly the lives of Americans, you've got to be persuasive. And it sucks that because of other things you say, it's harder for you to be persuasive. And it sucks that you've got to be persuasive on something in a context.
And not rely on people coming to their own fucking senses.
Scott, there's no persuasion in war. There's no words of persuasion that can bring a people to go to another city to go kill large groups of other people. There's no way to persuade people to do that. But that's what leaders do. That's what presidents do. That's why he was elected. He is the solution to a lot of problems. He is strength embodied in his philosophy. And the truth is, that's the way the cookie crumbles, and a lot of people just don't like reality. Hate to tell you the facts of life. Hello?
Hate
to tell you the facts of life. Hello?
First of all, there isn't any way. Americans are dumb, but they're not they can still breathe me land with the idea.
I want you to go on for. I just want to mention you made a Marvel Comics reference, one to Sam Hill, and I think that's very cute. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, you guys know media. You know those a little jeffrey.
I'm the only one who got that, but go on, and I take credit for that.
So what I don't understand is that it seems, and I've been watching you guys ever since we used those B-2 bombers and we used the bunker.
Watching you guys? You mean you're looking at the news?
I thought that after we used the bunker busters, you guys would be happy, but no. After we used the bunker busters, I went into y'all's rooms and y'all were talking about regime change. I was like, what the fuck? So now that I'm listening to y'all, and you're talking about messaging. What I've understood messaging to actually mean in this climate is, what lie do I need to tell to convince people to do the thing that's not in their best? What lie? How do we lie to make people? There's no lie that you can tell the American people to justify a war that fucks up. There's no lie that you can tell the American people that are going to make the American people, both Republican and Democratic and Independent, okay with increased energy prices for things that don't benefit them. There isn't any type of messaging that you can use that's going to, because Iran isn't close to a nuclear weapon. We didn't. So what excuse are we going to use now? What excuse are we going to use to fuck up the world's economy? What excuse?
According to who?
According to reality.
No, according to who?
Americans are not going to believe lies so that we can justify fucking up the economy because Israel wants to do stuff like it does.
Israel.
You are nobody. You're making up.
Hold on, Trump is in a position of power, though. Why you got
I want to
in a position of
So I
power right
think
now?
Proliferation of AI,
and
science, and nuclear comebacks,
they all say the same
science in the hands
anti
of Islamic terrorists,
crazy religious, but nobody here understands what
can't
it
be
means.
allowed to exist.
Right?
otherwise
This is the
Think like Americans, not like crazy.
This is the missing messages. Why? Because to understand that, it requires a lot of understanding which the media fail to deliver. Both sides, Fox News and the Democratic side. Nobody talk about this. This crazy religious ideology that distinguish North Korea and Pakistan from the Murrah regime. Point. Period. So whenever you talk about nuclear, getting nuclear weapon, and you start dragging in Pakistan, start dragging in North Korea, you fail because Murrah regime is not Pakistan, not North Korea. Since 1979, they only have one mission: to drag the whole world into chaos, and that's what they have been doing. And Fox News fails to deliver that, and Democratic media refuse to talk about that. That would mean their entire political correctness will crumble, right? So this is where we have to address.
Interesting. Does anybody want to respond to Dave? Dave is saying that the Islamic Revolutionary Genocide Corps, who declared war on us in 1979, took over our embassy, has been trying to drag us into war from the very beginning in order to, and I will add to this, Dave, in order to bring about the 12th Mahdi, which is like a messiah, who is the hidden imam. Does anybody want to respond to that?
No, they don't even know what you're talking about, but they want to respond. They don't. That's the problem. And maybe that's the messaging problem we're having, is that we think like having an ideology that will literally destroy the world, because that's what you believe will bring about this religious. Americans are trying to be rationalized. They don't want nuclear weapons. They're not trying to do this bullshit shit. Listen to their own words. They're not lying to you. They admit to having 60% enriched uranium. Outside reporting agencies say they have 60% enriched uranium. Now we want to get on as Americans. Be like, no, they don't. According to what? Your own fantasy?
No, but we got, okay, so I am an imperialist as well. I agree with what you're saying, but the issue is that you're so biased you don't even realize they're lying. That's how, like,
What the fuck are you even talking about?
Let me tell you the manipulation that you're undergoing, but you think you're.
So do you think their own words are lying? Their own words.
You're not. No, the thing is that you're actually.
You literally don't know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about. Can I disagree?
Hang on. Wait, both of you, hang on. Let's not make it about the person. Let's make it about the content of the argument, okay?
I think that I'm speaking towards the argument. I don't know this lady. I'm saying that what she's saying, there's no narrative where what she's saying.
Do you understand their theology?
Can I tell
That's
you
just
why
a basic question.
Wait, can I tell you why?
That's a yes or no.
It's not a yes or no because I just
really
want to.
is. Do you understand what their motivation is?
To tell you the reason why I disagree. And then after I tell you the reason why I disagree with what you said and why I feel like what you said is manipulation and it's not even coherent based on a mainstream. All right. So a year into change ago, I'm saying the reason why I disagree. I just want to be able to land facts over feelings. A year ago, in some change, they said that they were enriching uranium. I think that they were enriching uranium. There was other evidence that they were enriching uranium. That don't make sense if you're using it for civilian cases. Like if you're enriching up to 60%, the only reason why you enrich to up to 60% is to get to more than 60% so you can weaponize that uranium.
I think that's where they're at.
Okay. So guess what our government did? Our government sent over E-2 bombers, and then we said,
Just saying what the fuck you saying. Go right. Your timeline's off, sweetheart.
No, I just want to land. So
you might want to fix your timeline. Fix your timeline.
It doesn't matter what the timeline is.
Oh, it definitely matters.
So how are the Iranians? Why can't we just bomb them? If they're back at, let's say that they're back to where they were a year and some change ago, or less than a year ago. Okay, let's just bomb them again. Why does it require a ground invasion?
We haven't done a ground invasion yet.
Why does it? Well, the Marines are there, and more of them are showing up to that region every single day. So they're not mobilized over there for fun. There's about to be a ground invasion of Karga Island. What are you talking?
Let's say it's for bargaining. So let them know that we're serious.
For what? No, but okay, so when I bring up facts, it's, we're not serious. When I bring up the fact,
you didn't bring up any facts. You brought up no facts.
She's right about the uranium enrichment, but what happened? We already did it. We did it
already. That's the problem. You did what already?
So the operation was a failure.
No.
Failed as in a meeting? That was a failure. It didn't work?
No,
is what you're saying?
We need to do more.
No, so why don't we just go again? Why do we have to actually put boots on the ground? Why can't we just put boots on the ground? That's my question, like, why have to have boots on the ground?
How do you deal with this, Norm? Goddamn simpleton. It's all yours. I don't know how you deal with simpletons all day, every fucking day. Like, I want to know the intelligence, NPC, whatever the fuck he is, the goddamn simpleton. Because here's the thing, I don't give two fucking shits. Here's the problem. None of you fucking morons have any sort of intel that is above what the American intelligence apparatus has. Who are you calling a moron? Whoever talks as if they have any sort of intel.
I'm just repeating back the same intelligence. I'm repeating back the same intelligence that you have. I'm repeating back the same intelligence that you have.
Okay, I am muted the room. We're going to go one at a time. NPC, you went. Please, L, you take the mic. We got whole ass people on Clubhouse claiming to know more than outside reporting agencies, which is amazing. L, do me a favor. Don't make any. Who's a moron? Never mind that. Who's the moron? Anyone who claims to know more, anyone on Clubhouse that claims to know more than outside reporting agencies. If you put yourself in that camp, that's on you. someone's a moron is someone a moron on Clubhouse?
Here's what I said. If you can clean the shit out of your ears. Anyone, not specific, anyone who cannot realize that sitting here on Clubhouse, you personally do not know more than the intelligence agencies of which we are responding to. Okay?
What if we
Or
don't
outside
know what
agencies.
intelligence
Only know what your feelings are. Talk about feelings. That's feelings.
And one at a time. Put them down and one at a time.
Thank you. Right. So, Al, did you finish? You want to keep going?
No, what I was saying was, before people got all in their feelings, which is amazing.
That wasn't nice.
Oh my God. What nice? Are you nice? Is this nice?
Just gaslight.
Should we talk nice?
Doing gaslight.
Anyway,
Franklin, go after her, okay? You go after
you
her.
know what they do or don't have from a Clubhouse perspective, sitting on your ass or going to work, or you don't know shit. None of us. But I'm going to rely on the fact that our intelligence agencies
They
do
don't
know.
care about the truth.
Why do you rely on the intelligence agencies? They are lying to us
Really?
also.
Based on
Why
what?
don't you listen to Franklin?
Based on what?
I mean, yeah, the intelligence agencies did tell us that there were WMDs in Iraq, and they were the source of.
Do you know there are also people who actually claim that there were at some point that they were moved? But let's not talk about that.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, there's broad consensus that the intelligence there was wrong. Right?
Is there broad consensus?
No, it wasn't wrong. It was lies. But by the way, this is the intelligence agencies telling. By the way, I'm not saying that the intelligence agencies are wrong.
Let me just go as a mother. I'm not saying that there's not a great case to be made for Iran. I think, again, what I'm saying is Trump, we're in a democracy, right? We're in a liberal
I think there's a danger in comparing past conflicts to this in particular, because this has been a problem for decades.
No, I agree, but if you're the president of the United States, right, and you lead a liberal democratic republic, and part of it, public opinion matters, right? Your representatives and things like this, Congress can unfund conflicts and things like that, the War Powers Act and things like this, and you do an action like this, and it might be the most urgent conflict in the past 30 years, but you do it in light of two significant conflicts in the Middle East that were broadly perceived as failures. And so you have to take that into context when you try to bring the people along and tell them why this is urgent. And I think the communication on this has been really poor. And I think, I'm not saying I'm saying its significance merits Trump doing a better job on the messaging. And I think that's been in somewhat of a disarray.
Read the messaging, Scott. It suggests how to improve the messaging, Scott. It is a very complex. How do we improve the messaging for both Republican side and Democrat side, Scott?
There's so many. Let me shut up.
Well, I think
Franklin wanted to go after you, Scott.
Yeah, go ahead.
Franklin, did you want to go?
Well, thank you.
Welcome.
I want to first say good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to apologize for my outburst a little earlier, but it's so the topics we speaking on now are very touchy subjects. We have to realize, okay, now I'm a Muslim. Okay, now I've been practicing Islam since 1991.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. So what now from my perspective, my personal perspective of what it looks like Israel, the Jews, the so-called Jews, and the U.S., the so-called Christians, are attacking the Muslims. That's what it first looks like.
The so-called Muslims, you mean?
Well, okay.
Cool. All right. Well, let him go, please, David. Franklin's mic.
I'll ride with that. But we have to realize that even back in the 70s, it's always been something with the Middle East and the U.S. It's always been something. They have always labeled the folks in the Middle East as terrorists. That's a known fact. But we don't
9/11, right?
Of course I do.
Okay, well, I mean, that was done by so-called Muslims.
Okay, but check this out. Now, and I'm glad you mentioned that because to show you how
I'm
that
glad you're
was
glad.
bullshit. Yes. So, to show you how that was some bullshit. So, the government said that they didn't know anything about it, right? That this was supposed to be a surprise attack. How come the planes went into the towers that all the Jews had called in sick from both buildings?
Well, they did.
All the Jews.
They-
All the Jews. You forgot to say the so-called Jews. The so-called Jews. The so-called Jews.
Right. Okay, right. The so-called Jews called in sick.
Well, wait, Franklin, do you know what Cantor Fitzgerald is?
Who?
Cantor Fitzgerald. They're an accounting firm. Interestingly, the former CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald is in the Trump cabinet right now. Cantor Fitzgerald is a accounting firm. You maybe can tell from the name Cantor that it's made up largely of Jewish people. They were on the top floor of the World Trade Center, and they were all wiped out, including the brother of Harold Lutnick, who is now in Trump's cabinet. So it isn't true that all the Jews called in sick. In fact, Jews were one of the main victims of this terror attack by Al Qaeda. And
We should keep saying so-called, Norm.
Sorry, so-called.
But now check this out.
Basically, it's a denial.
But what's the point of repeating facts to a person who doesn't operate on facts? Let's just
Okay, all right. Now check this out. Now, if you watched Dateline, 2020, and all this stuff here, the amount of footage that they had. If now this is supposed to be a surprise, why did they have all this footage? They showed Muhammad Atta leaving his apartment, stopping by a bar, getting a drink, getting a prostitute, going across the street to the little hotel, and then before he went to the airport. Now they got all this footage. The day the planes flew into the building.
What position did he have intercourse with her, by the way?
Can we not entertain this before? We have other people who have like Dave was asking amazing questions. Can we be in reality?
Yeah, can you be in reality?
All right.
If you don't,
do we want to get back to Iran? Should Trump resign? Should Trump resign, Franklin?
I would happen to say yes. I feel that he should resign because he's a loose cannon. I agree with certain things that he's doing, but not all of them. I know that nobody's perfect, but as far as dealing with foreign relations, I feel that he should resign because he's a loose cannon.
And by the way, what do you like about what he does? You don't like me asking.
Well, his view on getting the illegal immigrants out, the folks that come over here illegally, because I know, I don't believe in the method that he's doing it, but I believe in the policy that getting these folks out that are not supposed to be here because they taking benefits from people that been here their whole life.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
Anything else you like that he's doing?
Not in particular.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your submission. I'm glad you got to weigh in there and kiss you. I appreciate it. Now, somebody wanted to go next. Who was it? You're welcome. Thank you as well. Is it Beloved? Did you want to weigh in? We haven't heard from you yet. Beloved? Going once or twice?
off your mic, please.
All right. Hang on.
By the way, Norm, this was a lark of a room that I opened up this morning. Look, we've had 1.2 thousand people come to the room and 69 people now, all wanting to weigh in on such a provocative article. What an interesting turn of events, my friend.
Great title, Scott. Appreciate your
Messaging, which Scott talked about. Can we talk about how to improve the messaging, right? So, as I say, the root of the problem is majority of American has no clue
there are two fractions of Islam called Sunni and Shia. Okay, and Shia is 15% and Sunni is 85%. And since 1,400 years, Sunni, the 85%, has been systematically trying to eliminate the future prospect of Shia. And for the minority Shia, 15%, to survive, they have to do all sort of unimaginable survival skill. One of it includes takia, that means to lie and to tell everybody, I'm not Shia, I'm Sunni. That is point number one. Point number two is they have to prepare for the time when they can totally overcome the 85% Sunni by having this end time ideology. So this end time ideology is 1,400 years, and it has been their primary objective to overcome the 85% majority. If you are American, you don't understand this, you will never understand what is hell going on in Middle East, period. And that is the root of the failure of messaging from the Republican side and the Democrat side. For the Democrat side, everybody is equal, and we have to be non-racist, we have to be political correctness, and we have to be afraid to be called Islamophobia. That means you will never learn the truth and the language of Middle East to understand how Middle East is causing the worldwide problem, period.
Yeah, but in order to get to accomplish a goal, you don't necessarily need to educate the people entirely, right? We know this in America from all the other politicians that came before this one in his administration, right? All you have to do is have the trust of the people, and that's what's lacking. So messaging or not, if you don't have the people behind you, it doesn't matter what you fucking say. They're gonna focus on their needs at the time, right?
Yeah, but Xerxes, welcome to America.
Sunni, but he's talking about what the American people will do and support, right?
But part of gaining support is having the American people understand why we're even there. And that is lacking. I don't know how that gets out. I honestly
You can't influence our.
Mostly because we are so divided that people was far less supportive of bombing the fuck out of Libya. Why did we do this? I mean, we literally decimated that place. Why? I still don't know. Talk about messaging.
It's not just America, it's Europe too.
This matters a whole lot more. If you ask me, this is a whole lot more America first than it has since World War II.
It matters to you because it affects.
No, it matters to the world.
It matters to your world, but.
Well, I mean, if you like nuclear war, I guess.
I'm talking. We're talking about. Listen, we're talking. But Dave, you just got finished asking and answering questions at the same time. Like every single response that I've heard is complete. Nothing is grounded in reality. And what I mean by reality,
really nothing you're saying is grounded in reality.
Yeah, that's projection, NPC. Are you projecting right now? You're projecting.
Actual responses.
Literally right now. I muted everybody because I think NPC is on something important, but I'd like to discuss it one person at a time so everybody can really be heard and we can think this through together. We'll crowdsource this question. The question NPC raises, please tell me if I have it correct, is the nuclear threat of Iran, which is the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Genocide Corps. So that is the difference between this and Libya, for example. But let's talk about the perceived or actual nuclear threat. Let's go NPC first, and then Alan and anybody else who wants to.
Put me in the queue. This is Alistair.
My original answer, it touches on that a little bit, but I'm still going to say, for some reason, when one dude talks about the so-called Jews, he's never interrupted. But when I'm trying to say something that's actually grounded, I'm always interrupted because...
Just make your point.
Just say what you need to say. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna say the thing. Thank you. So I'm gonna say the thing. Every single response has been about ideology. It's about messaging. They just don't know the information. If the average American understood the beef between Sunnis versus Shias, if they understood the nuances of geopolitics and power dynamics of the Middle Eastern region, and the messaging was good, then they'd support the war. No, they would not. Actually, I would go as far to say the more that Americans find out, the less that they're gonna support it. That's what we've seen. What do you understand what Americans when Americans voted in Donald Trump, Americans voted in a person, Americans voted in.
I just want to hear what you said. The more we find out, the fewer would support it? Is that what you
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, keep going.
Yes.
I want to hear that.
So the more Americans learn, the less they support it. And the reason why is because you have to have an event that immediately affects Americans for Americans to sacrifice their dollar. American consumers are not going to sacrifice gas prices, energy prices, fertilizer, food prices eventually going up ×2. They're not willing to sacrifice it because Israel wants Iran to have a different regime. They're just not going to do
That's not
it.
what our administration said, though. They said it was because of the nuclear threat.
Yeah, but yeah, okay.
Okay, so it's a
They don't
question of
believe it
whether you
because
believe
we
that
just
or
got rid of the
not.
nuclear threat. So how can they believe it? So maybe they become better obviously because didn't we just stall the nuclear program by a few years last year? So we can't say it's nukes now because we already got rid of the nukes last year.
Okay, but I think we've addressed that. It was found that there was further nuclear. Al, go ahead. And Dave, go after Al.
Listen, I'm going into a meeting right now, and if he can't be convinced by outside reporting agencies, I'm sorry, I can't help here.
Like the Atomic Energy Agency, for
Yes,
example?
yes.
Yeah, they say that Iran has 60% enriched, and that's obviously weapons grade. There isn't any dispute about that. So the reason for this war is the nuclear threat of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. So who wants to go next?
I go quick one. So,
all right.
When you talk about nuclear threat to the American, you have to talk about two things. The systematic evidence that in order to deliver nuclear weapon to U.S., right, not just to Israel, you need two things. You need to have nuclear weapon and you need to have a mean to deliver. And Israel is very near to Iran. But Iran, Murad regime, ambitious is to go beyond Israel. And he tell the world, we only have up to 2,000 kilometers. That's it. But what they've done is when
The
it's
money that
trying
belongs
to
to Iran.
send two
It went to the government, but it's money that
that is 4,000 kilometers. So that is a total lie, right? So we are dealing with the Murad regime. As I said before, it's the ideology based on Takia, means it's lying. The only person in Fox News keeps saying that this is a lying Murad regime is General Kane. He always says these people lie. Period. Right? And he don't use the word Takia because American will not understand. He said keep lying. And then Americans say lying, everybody lies. So what's the big deal? Right? So in order to get to America, the Murad regime continuously work in North Korea, use their technology to keep increasing the range. At the same time, lying to the whole world, especially NPC. Whatever truth you say, NPC would not accept it because he lives in a bubble world. His world, right? And his world represents the entire America. One person represents entire 300 million America. But that is not the whole world. The whole world is 8 billion people. And they all can see the truth. The day when Murad regime delivered 4,000 kilometers, the world wake up. Because 4,000 kilometers means it will reach the entire Europe. And then, if you look deeper, how long does it take for Murad regime to increase the range to reach New York, to reach range to Washington D.C.? That is where we need to stop it, right? So NPC live in a bubble world. This is total lie. Okay, that
You live in I live in Texas. We don't care about no foreign wars.
Right? When you tell the truth, they will totally get very angry, and that is a symptom of indoctrination. Period.
So Americans, are tired of being lied to. So first of all, the whole entire nuclear proliferation thing, that worked last year. And it might be able to work again. We haven't seen evidence of it working. Let's talk about evidence. I'm not talking about what I think. We're going to look at the polls. We're going to look at the why the Republicans probably won't win the midterms and the Republicans probably won't win re-election.
Got it. Moderators, I'd like to be put in the queue. This is Alistair. Put me in the queue, please.
They do not like this on both sides. Okay, so Alistair, answer me this.
I'm not answering your questions. I'd like to make my own independent submission. Thank you.
Alistair, you want to back and forth with?
No, I don't. I want to read Winston Churchill quotes about Mohammedan law. Thank you. That will be my submission. Yes, please.
All right. So I'll be very quick. Everyone keying, I'm projecting. Everyone says I'm and by everyone, a few people. See how that works? It turns out when you look at the polling, the one single thing that Donald Trump did to fuck up his base, it isn't lying to them about the Epstein files. It isn't a bunch of other shit. It isn't like deporting a few U.S. citizens mistakenly. I'll give him that. It's this war. This war is the single worst thing that he's ever done to his own base in terms of his approval rating with them.
Well,
the majority of the American people do not like this war. It's not my opinion.
Hang on a second. According to the polling, this was done by CNN, only 6% of his base are against the war. That's what they found.
That's not true.
It is true.
And by the way, I voted for Trump in 2016, so I voted for Trump in 2016. I don't even look at CNN as a reputable source.
Well, it's not a poll.
Yeah, but that is that 6%. Norm.
Yes.
You were you born in America?
Yes.
You understand American, like the average American, if they're gonna choose between gas price, oil being $200 a barrel versus America not doing a regime war, which do you choose? First of all, a regime change war that's not even working. It's not even like we got it. We changed the regime and then we're dealing with the consequences. We got in there. We tried to change the regime. We failed, and we're still dealing with the consequences. It's not even like we won.
Well, my answer to you is, by the way, I'm from New York. I don't know if you consider that part of the United States because sometimes we feel different. But I understand the importance of a non-nuclear Iran as an American. All right, so Alistair, it's your turn. Did you want?
Yeah, these are the quotes. These are Winston Churchill quotes about the dangers of Islam. How dreadful are the curses which Mohammedanism lays on its votaries, besides the fanatical frenzy which is as dangerous in a man as hydrophobia in a dog. There is this fearful fatalistic apathy. The effects... Please wait till I'm finished. The effects are apparent in many countries. Improvident habits, slovenly systems of agriculture, sluggish methods of commerce, and insecurity of property exist wherever the followers of the prophet rule or live. A degraded sensualism deprives this life of its grace and refinement, the next of its dignity and sanctity. The fact that in Mohammedan law, every woman must belong to some man as his absolute property, either as a child, a wife, or a concubine, must delay the final extinction of slavery until the faith of Islam has ceased to be a great power among men. Individual Muslims may show splendid qualities, but the influence of the religion paralyzes the social development of those who follow it. No stronger retrograde force exists in the world. Far from being moribund, Mohammedanism is a militant and proselytizing faith. It has already spread through Central Africa, raising fearless warriors at every step. And were it not that Christianity is sheltered in the strong arms of science, the science against which it had vainly struggled, the civilization of modern Europe might fall, as fell the civilization of ancient Rome.
Okay, now check this out. So, you just read from Churchill.
Frankly, you're up.
Okay, so you just read some, my opinion, some racist shit from Churchill. All right, now.
Well, it was against the religion, not against the race, to be fair.
Okay, so peep this.
people. KKK is the history.
No. KKK is a group of people claiming to be Christians.
People?
Claim to follow the Bible. Claim to follow the Bible and have been killing my people for centuries.
Yeah, they're terrible. By the way, the Jews put them out of business with the lawsuit, Mars D. I don't know if you knew that. They had to literally went bankrupt because of that.
Okay, so why?
Yeah, Franklin. Franklin, I can answer you. We're Americans, Franklin. We're not British. We declared independence eternal and forever. And as Americans, we are all brothers. And I'm not reading that to try to spread hate. I'm trying to actually frame Islam in the way that Winston Churchill saw it in the 20s, serving in the Boer War. It was his observations about their laws, because there are Napoleonic laws, there are Mohammedan laws, there are Thomas Jefferson laws, and I'm just saying that law is the joy of the law is strength. And that's why we voted for Donald Trump, because I think we have been lied to for 25 years personally, but I think Donald Trump as an executive and as a manager was the best option at the ballot box. Kamala Harris, Tim Walz would have been epic failures for global security, American security, and for our well-being economically. They're incompetent fools, and Donald Trump is a superior intelligence to those incompetent fools. I am complete.
Alistair, can I ask a question?
Do we want to do?
Alistair, can I ask a question?
I hear Xerxes. Go ahead, Xerxes.
Hi.
A female voice.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask a question about the quote that you read, Alistair.
Go ahead, ask your question.
You said this was after Mr. Churchill's contact with what and when? Because I'm pretty sure this...
I'll pin the link for you in the chat. There is this thing called Google. You can use your little fingers to type in Winston Churchill quotes about Muhammad law. I'm putting the link in the chat. Go ahead.
No, that's cool.
No, that's fine. Alistair, when and where did he say this? It's a fair question. If you know.
I'm putting the link in the chat where I just read it. Please hold.
All right. You're gonna check. Thank you. Okay, he'll put a link in the chat. Okay, Xerxes?
Oh, good. Thanks. No, it's just, it's just interesting to listen. I try not to give my opinion so concretely on these kinds of things because I like to remark my privilege, right? Like I am comfortable in my $3,000 townhouse in a great city where I rarely have troubles that I have to think about, like especially bombs. Right, so I think it can be.
We're coming for dinner, by the way. So please put your.
Come on over. But it can be like I think sometimes startling to hear people speak so big about things that they have like very little control over. I know it's like an exercise of ideas, and I understand that. And sometimes it's necessary.
Statement? You mean the Churchill quote?
I mean, like the Churchill quote is, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna wait for Alistair before I make any determinations on what I think that is. But like, statements from like people like Dave who, don't live where I live and maybe are under a different amount of pressure to think about these things versus, I can't remember what the woman's name was who went to a meeting. She seemed to be like very intense about the immediacy in which the United States should handle these things. And I'm a pretty like well-studied like media analyst, so that means like while I don't maybe have like the best and most stable like political knowledge like you guys have, I know like I've heard you guys speak about economics and things like this, I do have like a really deep knowledge of how media is used to encourage and influence people at times like these. So I do find, I'm just like,
they presided over the complete rejection of your commitment to your family. They embraced sexual liberty, complete emancipation of women. This idea of no responsibility and higher purpose than to increase your wealth and pleasure.
Islamic revolutionary.
And you see how that's
down the road
collectively as a society. Now we have another consciousness.
Well, there was Dr. Adams. He said,
Well, you look at me. You're still on the set, complaining about being able to pay your bills, while I have more money than you. It's like, I don't value success that way. Like, I didn't value in my 20s hustling and bustling and working really hard to make as much money as I could. No, I focused on, I'm gonna have children. That's what I'm gonna do. However I can produce.
You're talking to a homosexual who is never going to have children. Who's told you with his lifestyle as degrading, shameful, and acutely painful, or even obtusely painful it is, that he can't see any other way to experience pleasure than by earning money or defiling himself. You know, he's unwilling. So, you're like, how can you get a good answer from that person? That person is showing you, I can't see purpose or calling. I am literally just, materialist. How can I experience physical sensations? They have no spiritual realm.
I think the thing that I found most striking was just one of the things I kept emphasizing was that tough love is often like a last resort when you've already failed as a parent, where you've created such an spoiled, entitled, no work ethic piece of shit that they just take and take and take, and like you literally have nothing else you could do besides, well, I guess get out of my house and I hope you figure it out. Whereas like if you raise a kid right, you should be able to help them out to the best of your abilities and not have it stunt their development.
Well, you're absolutely right, Kevin. And what's more is that when you are raising your kid, no matter how, it's not like a pass or fail thing. When your child sees
nuclear weapons,
that you're spending your money and your time and you're making efforts to.
I don't know how much that makes sense.
We're the good guys.
I do absolutely disagree.
All right.
I don't think
we ever used a nuclear weapon against a non-belligerent country. The way
even in belligerence
has said. What?
Well, so even in belligerence, if it's used, I think historically when weapons like these have been used, there's like a water, it's like pulling your hand back from fire almost, right?
What you have created is such a, that's what my wife and I have talked specifically that, like, it's such a boomer mentality. That's why I say total boomer death. Like, these fucking boomers, this is what their children inherited. The baby boomers and Gen Xers inherited this idea that your kids need to be kicked out as soon as possible. And I thought that's wild because every single time, I found someone really highly successful I was able to talk to, and I mean economically and familially, where they had a big family and their family was, visiting them and they all had healthy relationships. You found out that the people with the most money in that relationship were always an older generation that had developed a rigid familial hierarchy and considered it a pleasure to confer monetary advantages, emotional and time advantages on their offspring. They wanted to take the kids. They wanted to take the grandkids. They wanted to treat their children and their partners. They wanted to help them buy a house. They wanted to help them go on vacation. They wanted them to have a better life. And they thought, this is how I fulfill myself in my old age. And you can contrast that with the majority of the population.
I'm gonna get a boat. I'm gonna get a boat.
Get a boat.
I'm gonna get a boat and I'm gonna go to.
Yeah, a boat. Yes, a boat. Exactly. I'm gonna get a boat, and then I'm gonna get a bigger house, and I'm gonna get a car that's bigger and shinier than the other guys. And then they go, hey, my family moved away, and then they wonder why they're left in an old folks' home. They go, like, I wish my family. I speak to folks in old folks' homes, and they tell me, I wish my family would come and visit me. There's this horror story I have. I was at a old folks' home. And there's a door that separates the assisted living. Am I in the matrix?
No, I hear you.
Okay, there's a door that separates the assisted living section from the memory care section, and the memory care is where individuals who have been diagnosed with an inability to
so that they
think
can
about
get
the world the way they're supposed to.
Those crimes still killing indigenous people.
I opened that memory care.
But like, just follow me here. And then they were like, oh, well, we have a nuke and they don't want to stop, so we could just stop them and we drop it. I think the perspective that a lot of Americans have might be different on this if we had experienced these kinds of atrocities.
How would it be different?
I think this scale of tragedy might engage future generations in thinking clearer about the scale of what is possible. Right? And I don't think that the United States doesn't do that.
Which is the tragedy in that sentence?
Like Nagasaki, or you know what I mean? Like, so like if that happened on our land and we knew it as our American selves, it was taught to every generation after, you know, we grieve it. It's a part of us, you know, despite we grieve it.
You're anti-genocide, right?
I'm sorry?
You're anti-genocide.
I mean, as much as I am misanthropic and absolutely hate the flesh bags that are called humans, I am anti-genocide, yeah.
Oh, you hate people.
I do hate people, I really do.
I think her primary argument is this. Right? If America, Russia, France, UK have nuclear weapons, this is totally unfair based on political correctness, human equal right. Every nation should deserve the right to have nuclear weapons. That is
I will say this on this argument, right? I think that we got the Ukraine to disarm, right, with regard to nuclear weapons, based on our commitment to protect them from Russian aggression, which Trump is trying to waffle on, right? And so, with the example of the Ukraine, and that the Ukraine can't count on the United States to honor its commitment. Because Ukraine would have been in a better position if they had nukes. And so I think, this is, if we want to proliferate, if nuclear weapons are really a problem, and proliferation is really a problem, then we've made a huge strategic mistake in Ukraine, because we've said basically the best thing for your security is not to trust the United States, but to get a nuke.
Well, you're right, Scott. We're like, what, 30 plus years too late, right? It's been a while since Ukraine has given up the nukes, and that was a strategic flop on their part. And other countries aren't going to make that same flop. Every single country is fully aware that if you're not too big to fail, the only way to protect you from the United States is nukes. In terms of America's ability to bully you. I'm a child of the empire, so when America bullies and it benefits the people, I don't mind. But I was saying, in terms of like the geopolitical conversation, having nukes is really the only way that if Iran gets nukes, which they won't, but if they did, I would be afraid for my life. The entire point of nukes is that you don't have to use them. If they ever use them, they wouldn't exist, and it would be justified. I don't think that they use them, and I'm against.
They said that they would.
You live in an alternative, imaginary world like what Zeros is hoping for, right? So
wow, Melania, hidden hand Illuminati complaints. Trump is married to a European Illuminati priestess.
I'm not even saying anything that bad. Like I'm literally
what?
What I'm saying is a little bit nuanced.
People race.
No, but why when I speak?
Left.
But I'm not used to being cut off in this room. Like, this isn't like a troll space, so why can't I just finish an idea?
Information that is totally
To be fair, he has been cut off every single time he has spoken. Just
to be fair, you don't have to complain about it. I mean, it's not a complaint room. People don't want to hear you complaining nonstop. If you have a point, just say it.
I'm complaining now. But yeah, that's what I try to do every single time I do it. I get cut off. Like, and what I'm saying is,
let's let NBC finish his.
I have no fucking idea.
Dave goes after. Okay, Dave.
I support the United States. If I had to choose between Palestine and Israel, I choose Israel, even though both of y'all are on some bullshit. But I don't know what the fuck y'all idiots want to hear. Like, at the end of the day, the American people, they're not in the position to sacrifice their wallet so that Israel can gain more power in the region. American people aren't with that right now. Maybe if it was 20 years ago, sure.
Right. So America doesn't want to do that. America shouldn't do that, and America isn't doing that. Fred, Dave, did you want to protect
America? You want
speak a little loudly and more slowly, and try to be very much like
logical
if you
and
want
clear
to
and
protect
factual.
America's citizen, right, you have to first do not go and fantasize alternative world or whatever. This is the world we are living now, right? The argument is, what can we do in this world? And you have a Mura regimes, when a kid know how to talk, that indoctrinate them. Follow me, kill the America, death to America, death to Israel, right? So they systematically indoctrinate the people. Death to how do you actually realize this, right? So you have to make sure the West do not believe this is happening, so they have to indoctrinate the West. We just talk for fun. You can come up with imagination world. We just singing for fun, right? And now they are making progress, right? Since 47 years. To destroy America, you must have a missile delivery program that can reach America, right? And then you must have enriched uranium. And during the negotiation, they say we have 460 kilogram or 60%. This is all coming from them, but they are since 47 years. They know in order to achieve the goal of destroying America, they have to indoctrinate the American, right? And the Middle East put a lot of money to the university and all this.
Ask you one final question.
And in order to indoctrinate the America, to train the America to, when you argue, start thinking about very creative alternative world, and so that the truth will not be told to the America. Thank you.
I don't know why it seems like you're attacking the parallel universe that I was describing to Elle. We were having a conversation about how I see things, right?
Hidden hand Illuminati
And this doesn't
confirmed.
actually have
Trump
to
is
do
married
with
to a
like
European Illuminati
necessarily being
priestess.
indoctrinated not to believe or not to want. Like, I don't know what this fantasy world you're talking about is. I come from a military family. Trust me, I know the spiel, all of the spiels, bro. I'm just saying.
Actual facts, not imaginary.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that. I guess my entire perspective is that there needs to be a time where cooler heads prevail, and the immediate thing isn't for old world empires to knee jerk to like blood, right? Like,
You think it's a knee-jerk? I mean, they've been.
I absolutely think that this year, right now, in this time, is a knee jerk, right? You have no support from your own government. You have no support from your former allies.
From which government? The American government?
Right. Like, did Trump clear what he wanted to do in Iran with the government?
Trump is the government. Well, if
No. I mean, like, no.
Then it wouldn't be a surprise.
No. When I say the government, I mean all the branches of power.
Like, well, the judiciary isn't a part of this. So he has the support of the Republican majority in Congress. So yes, he does.
So this war is totally legal.
Of course it's legal.
I mean, well, technically, the war, the reason why they're trying to
I'm sorry, I can't hear more than one person.
They're trying to legalize it because they're trying to say that the war never ended. So ever since the hostage, in terms of legality, Trump can finesse the legality. But the legality for me is the least interesting part. The reason why they attacked right now is because they thought that the Iranian regime was the weakest it's ever been, because they felt like their citizens would help them overturn the government as soon as the U.S. went in. That's the reason why. They didn't go in, but like the whole entire pretense, my thing is that the pretense that you guys are using is a lie, and you don't, it's a lie.
I didn't invade Iran.
No. The pretense that you guys have been pushing in this room is a lie.
Yeah, that's your projection. Unfortunately, that's just like your opinion. And a lot of people think that you are a liar. Everything you say is a lie. You're projecting.
It's disruptive. And PC, when Witkoff started the negotiations, the IRGC rep said we have enough nuclear material for 11 bombs. So you're saying that the regime is lying too? Everybody's lying?
No, but they didn't invade. What I'm saying is that the reason why this happened in the way that it happened this year, the reason why we overthrew the regime is because of nuclear weapons.
That's the reason.
No, it's not.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Well, NPC, I want to introduce.
It's one of them, but it's not like they were rediscovering their nuclear program and we're like, you know what, enough's enough. This is the reason why we're gonna kill
NPC, welcome to the world of politics. Hello, NPC. This is called reality, aka politics, where all communication is either projection or politics, or it's spam, or it's hypnosis. Communicate, and unfortunately, you have to admit that what you're saying is just opinion. What we're saying is just opinion. I don't believe you can actually even tell us the difference between an opinion and a fact.
Weird communication. Marshall McLuhan thing. I want to talk about it.
So I just want to bring up a point about the U.S. controlling or trying to control other countries with weapon development. So we know Russia already have nuclear capability.
Big time.
And there was no argument when Russia invaded Ukraine for no fucking reason.
We did argue.
They got to shooting up a lot of motherfuckers, and then Trump even went and told the Ukrainian president, sit down, basically sit down, shut the fuck up, and sign this peace treaty, and let us come on in and take your resources. But because Iran ain't with that program, now all of a sudden it's a problem. See, the U.S. pick and choose who they want to bully.
Wait, what's the bullying? Which one is the bullying?
What's the bullying?
The bullying is like I'm saying, so they say that Iran has nuclear capability and they gonna turn it and use it on somebody.
Iran says that too, by the way. Iran says that.
Okay, that's fine. But they don't have it yet. Russia already have it and then already invaded a country. And they ain't saying not one motherfucking word. So Russia and the U.S.
We told them not to do it. We couldn't stop them. So now we're supplying weapons to Ukraine.
Oh, okay. So a slap on the hand, stop it.
But Franklin, the whole entire reason why they don't want anyone to have a nuclear weapon is so that they're not in a position of Russia, because we actually can't do anything to Russia, to be honest, because they have one. That's the whole entire point of the reason why we don't want Iran to have one. So what Operation Midnight Storm, whatever the fuck it was called, when that operation was happening last year, I was happy. I was like, and I supported it because that's a good thing. Slowing down the Iranians getting nuclear weapons is a good thing. Not because I think that they're going to use them, but because if they acquire them, it shifts the power dynamics in the region, and it's not good for the American petrodollar. I'm a child of the empire. Anything that supports the American petrodollar supports me indirectly. Okay? But let's not sit here and lie.
You a child of the empire? What the fuck does that mean, child of the empire?
Yeah, I'm stormtrooper. Let's not sit here and lie and act like...
You a stormtrooper, like a Nazi stormtrooper? Is that what you're saying?
John and Billy.
Well, never mind. John, you can go ahead and speak.
It's not only the nuclear capabilities that they...
Child of the empire!
You can just see now the response to this war. They're just shooting missiles at everybody. So they're very much unhinged. And one of the things that we've always worried about, one of the reasons why the world, especially Europe and America to an extent, didn't want to pressure Iran into anything, was because we were actually afraid that they would cut off the Strait of Hormuz. And this is, and from what I've read and seen online, is that most of the U.S. and Israel were shocked in a way that they did that. So the fact that they did that without even having a nuke as of right now is pretty scary. It sets a possible precedent for the future. right? And the fact that, and like, let's be real, we're in this partly because of October 7th. They are setting up proxies there and all over the world that want to attack not just Israel, but our interests as well, right? They are the reason why October 7th happened. The only reason, the way that they wiped their hands clean is because they didn't know a date. They gave them funding, they gave them knowledge about how to create missiles, they gave them all the spy knowledge that they have. They've been fronting up Hezbollah for 30, 40 years, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, October 7th? Oh, what a surprise. We didn't know it was going to happen. They knew exactly it was going to happen. They just didn't know a date. So they separated themselves from it. They're bad people. They need to be removed. I know the war right now, which is like probably the biggest psyop that they've created, with their Lego AIs on YouTube, a bunch of 20-year-olds and have made us think that this is a useless.
No, let him land.
These people need to be removed from the earth. I think it should happen now. And if you just let it happen, it'll happen, and we'll have a little bit of a hurt in our pockets for a while, for a little bit, I think. But these people cannot be in power. And if you could just finish the job, which we can, and it won't be nothing. Not everything's like Iraq. Not everything's like Afghanistan. Not everything is like those wars. This is different. And these people are really horrible people. They kill their own people. They rape their own people. They've been doing it for years and years. They've threatened us, America and Israel and the West now for years and years. They need to be removed. And the biggest psyop in the world is the fact that we're even having this discussion. Like, oh well, are we losing the war? I don't know. Like, did Netanyahu push Trump into it? It's insane. So that's all I'm saying, and I'll give the mic to someone else.
So Trump
Franklin, did you want to interject something? Franklin, I saw you come up before. All right, Dave.
Is that what you mean?
Can't hear you, Dave. Much louder. Okay.
I mean,
okay.
The topic is Trump must not resign until. Sorry. What I'm trying to say is, what John trying to say is, according to the topic here, John want Trump to finish the job, so resignation is out of question. John, is that your thesis?
Yeah, this is like enough already. Like everyone's saying this takes away. Also, but by the way, the fact that Iran is keeping the focus on them. Hey, look how bad the U.S. is. Look how bad Israel is still. Oh my God! Look how we're the victim. We're the victim. That's what they're saying. We're the victim. Look at all this destruction. They're not even showing the destruction. They're just telling you about it, right? So like it's all a psyop, and we're all falling for it, and we're all unfortunately voting in people. We're starting to that are becoming more isolationist. All of the major podcasts from the left and the right are always talking about this. They're taking away from every problem that we have domestically, right? Affordability, real estate, gun laws, abortion, rights being taken away there. It's all being sucked out because of what's going on over there. So if we were able to finish it and finally put this to rest, we were able to focus on what's here instead of having these conversations that are going circular.
So what do you call finishing?
What you call fishing?
Getting enough time for at least them to be so weak that hopefully the Iranian people there can do something about what they have, or for them to be either regime change or that they can be so weak that they can't do anything else. They can't arm their proxies. They can't shoot ballistic weapons to Europe, which they can now, and they don't. And they answer to us and the rest of the world. They don't answer to anybody else.
So wait, are you saying like? I'm so sorry. Like.
Is this funny to you? Is this comedy? I think it's hilarious too. I think it's funny you're laughing.
Did you get that? Did you get that information from me yet, Alistair? Or was it in the chat? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Another creative alternative world.
Yeah, trying to belittle me won't work. But I just don't know.
Yeah, put the link in the chat.
The part that you said, John, about like focusing on like things that are plaguing America, right? Like finishing this so that we can focus on us, right? Basically.
I mean, that's what a lot of people are saying, right? Why are we, quote unquote, all the terms now, giving money to Israel? Why are we going to war? Blah blah blah, right? Because it's taking away from issues here, correct? That's the overarching theme, at least in in the podcast world and where people look at a lot of good information. Right? So that's what, if we could just finish what's going on over there, the world could be a little more tame and a little more together, and and have less of all these unnecessary but deadly distractions. We'd be able to focus on a little more here, not just kicking the can down the road and becoming more isolationist and having Russia and China get into the mix and have Europe fall apart, just because and have all these other countries fall apart. Let's focus on getting this cancer removed so we can then focus on what we need here. We are a rich country, and people can see that. And if we just get rid of this distraction, this horrible distraction over there, that's obviously that they're taking advantage of the world, then we can start focusing on what's here, not just turning a blind eye and having a mass destruction going on over there.
Okay, but isn't the series... I think... I hated it back when October 7th happened and Israel responded. People acted like they didn't know why Israel was responding that way. Like, there was 2 weeks before Israel responded where everyone was afraid for Israel, oh, poor Israelis, they just got terrorist attacks. And then as soon as Israel responded, now Israel's the bad guys.
No, that's not true. On this app, actually, a lot of rooms were celebrating the October 7th attack, NPC. They were celebrating the chaos, the murder, the slaughter, the desecration of humans, the terrorism. They were happy as could be, dancing in the streets on this app.
Yeah, I was...
Let me tell you about Israel.
You're right.
Let me tell you about Israel.
What the hell? I wasn't finished.
A few years back.
No, nigga, I wasn't done.
You're right.
Like, bro, every time I... Let me just finish, bro. I wasn't done. Let me just finish.
I don't think the room one at a time, NPC, and then Franklin, please.
Yeah.
No, I'm preferring no Edwards in this.
NPC, you're right. We had 2 weeks of sympathy.
Yes. So I'm saying that because I remember. I'm an equal opportunist. I remember on both sides. I think it's very incomplete to say they just went crazy. Everyone's afraid. If Iran sends missiles to another country, the only thing that they're hitting are U.S. bases. There's a few instances of a straight missile hitting a random building, but mostly they're attacking U.S. assets in foreign countries. That's number one. And then the biggest thing is, isn't there a reason why they're sending so many missiles? What did we do to make them take off the condom and start sending in more missiles? Like, what did we do? Did we, I don't know, maybe kill every single one of their leaders and everyone associated with them? If any country, I'm not supporting Iran in this. I'm just saying, if any country suffered even 1% of what Iran has suffered, we'd be at nuclear war. If a bomb hit Trump and killed Trump and all of his cabinet, we'd be at nuclear war.
Iran did try to assassinate him. That is a good point.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if they got away with it, we'd be at nuclear war, period.
Well, not nuclear war. So then
yes, we would.
No, we're not going to use that.
We've nuked people from us.
No, we haven't. We only nuked people one time, and that was for a genocide.
For less. And the Japanese committed genocide.
We nuked Japan for genocide.
No, we nuked Japan because we didn't feel like sending our troops in. That's the reason why we nuked Japan.
Because they were committing genocide across Asia.
They wouldn't care. The government wouldn't care. The military wouldn't care. Right quick, y'all. America wouldn't care. So, do y'all remember a few years back when Israel and Palestine was fighting over the Gaza Strip?
Yeah.
Like, you mean Hamas? Yes. Well, let me finish the question.
Israel and Palestine was fighting over the Gaza Strip.
Palestine is over in Judea and Samaria. And Gaza is Hamas.
Whatever, but it was the Gaza Strip, so you know what I'm talking about.
Well, you're talking about Hamas, the terror group.
Okay. So, they showed footage on TV of children chucking rocks at tanks.
Okay. They shouldn't do that.
The Israel soldiers gun them children down.
Right. Well, if you throw a rock at an armed man, what do you think is going to happen? What would you?
Child.
Yeah. Well, what?
So
I
you
think
mean to tell me
if you
that
throw
a child?
wait, if you throw a rock at an armed man, what do you expect him to do?
No, they didn't throw a rock at an armed man.
Yeah, they threw the man.
He was in the tank. They showed it. So when you killing a child because they jumped on the
I asked you a question. If you threw a rock at a soldier, what do you think is going to happen?
I just gave you
Verse
verse
indoctrinate the children in
Verse
Gaza.
you were saying the whole of John 1, chapter 1 was hyperbole.
Well, you think
That's
they're going
what
to take
it
away
is.
their lollipop?
Why are you trying to watch the answer to this, John?
He said based on the language, every verse was hyperbole. Yeah, he said every verse was hyperbole.
Frankly, stop the argument. So NPC argument is, what should Iran do?
Yet to all who did not receive him, to those who believe in his name, he
Hi, I'm going to briefly interrupt. Moderators, I put some links in the chat. I'd like to read them. Put me in the queue. Thank you.
I'm just wondering, how does that mean that the whole thing is hyperbolic? What are you using?
Oh my goodness, okay. Is Jesus literal?
We just killed all their leaders in like one day. We've been killing their leaders, a lot of them for a long time, not for no reason, but like to sit here and act like the Iranians have no incentive to like to have the same thing that other countries have, which is missiles.
Thomas, give me a simple answer.
You can't say Jesus uses hyperbole one.
Hi, moderators. Can I get a confirmation that I'll be put in a queue? Moderators, please.
This is not Jesus speaking. This is the author of John. Okay. As we're not talking about Jesus right now. We're talking about.
Okay, point of order, gentlemen. I'm asking to be acknowledged as if I'm speaking and can be heard.
Is Jesus white? Is he literally white?
All things is the created order.
Okay, point of order, moderators. I don't know if anybody can hear me, but I'm asking to read some quotes from Winston Churchill on the dangers of Islam. I don't believe that I will be acknowledged, so I will just like to speak and interrupt. Unfortunately, I apologize, but I did put some links in the chat from Winston Churchill about the dangers of Islam. I'd like to read them to the room. Would that be okay?
No, just stop. Just stop.
No, you don't have to tell me to just stop. I don't know who you are. You're just a random person on a conference call app. And I'm trying to present some really important information and some very informative information because I believe that I will be able to persuade you that Islam is a danger, that their religious and their legal code is a danger to humanity, to society, and we should fight back and fully understand what Winston Churchill was talking about when he said Islam is dangerous. The link is in the chat. Moderators, I'm requesting 60 seconds to read Winston Churchill. That's all I'm asking.
No, we're having a conversation. Don't be rude, dude.
This is a conference call app. It's generally for public people. I'm a public person. And unfortunately, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that I can't do it. I can just do it right now. Would you like that? It's not rude. It's what I'm interested in. I think you'll like it, actually. It's not about being rude. It's not about me. It's about trying to provide some informative information. Okay, how long will you be? I want to know. That's why I was asking to be put in the queue. Doesn't matter. See, you're impossible to communicate with. Okay, here's the full Churchill quote on Islam. How dreadful are the curses which Mohammedanism lays on its votaries, besides the fanatical frenzy, which is as dangerous in a man as hydrophobia in a dog. There is this fearful...
Swear, dude. We're going to run Sorry, just real quick. Oh, shoot, he's gone. They're just still here. Okay.
Like, you don't fire on scholarship, you mention scholars, like, dude, come on now.
Well, I was going to put it like, if you look at John 6, for example, and how Jesus talks about this flesh and blood, right? One could look at that and say, well, it's literal, like, Eucharist, is it not?
But let's be honest. What about the U.S. government? First of all, we have to agree about the terms, about some terms. Who is terrorist? What do you mean?
You must have some more terrorist.
You know, I don't mind.
Daniel's like a super deal, and Argus isn't really paying attention, and Draco was just over talking him, and I just wanted to hear it. And I know that you guys were talking about pussy, but I still just want to hear what he was gonna say.
Sure.
Okay, these are the Winston.
They say I could destroy your civilization. I have the power. I know you have the power. You can. But someone comes and says, Asia, you are Iranian. I don't care about you. You are against the Iranian government. I don't care. I could destroy your civilization in a night.
Marcia, there are many Iranian freedom-loving Iranian all over the world, all are thanking Trump right now, right? So when Trump make that statement, they don't care because they know when Trump says civilization is the 1,400 years of civilization behind the Murad regime. That is not the Persian civilization. So there are two kinds of civilization. First of all, 10% Iranian who want to support Murad regime. When Trump says civilization, it means the entire 90 million. No. When Trump says civilization, it's the 10 million Iranian who are paid by the Murad regime.
So you are a degenerate for Donald Trump. You are trying to think the stupid things that Donald Trump said. Are you a dictionary? Are you a dictionary of Donald Trump?
Let's go one at a time. Dave,
Shut up.
Wait a second.
Shut up.
Dave,
You cannot.
Let's go one at a time. First Mazir, then Dave, okay? Mazir, take as much time as you need, and then Dave can go. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. When somebody who's in power says something, actually makes everything badly, screws everything, and then some people who love that person, maybe stupid Donald Trump, some people come and try to fix the problem. No, Trump said that, but he was meaning this. Okay? I'm a human being. I know. I'm talking to you. When you say something, I know what you mean. Okay? I don't need someone else to come back and say, Mazia, you have been talking to maybe, I don't know, Scott? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, point of order. Just try to make some points. If you have a point, make a point. Do you have a point to make, sir?
You know, when you say something, you are responsible for what you have said.
His point is that he
I
doesn't
don't
want
need someone else to come and explain to me, no, he was not meaning that. We are not dictionaries. We are human beings.
Exactly. And so in the
What was the point of that?
so moderators, if you could please take control of the room and get us back on topic. Should Trump resign to be will that redeem Trump if he resigns? Or do you think Trump is even concerned about redeeming himself? He said he thinks he might be going to hell, but he said it facetiously. So the problem is I always think that the solution or really the conflict is because of a lack of philosophical understanding. And I'm interested to see because Xerxes earlier said she hates everybody. She hates people. She hates it. I know she's being facetious because I understand what she's saying, meaning that there's a lot of conflict and friction, which is uncomfortable. And so I want to avoid it. She wants to live in her little work from home bubble and her $3,000 a month townhouse. But the rest of the world does not live like that. If you go to Gaza, if you go to Iran right now, if you go to Lebanon, it's a hellhole. But that's because people choose violence and weapons and terrorism instead of a real economy. And so all I'm trying to say is, all communication is hypnosis, but it's also projection, it's also politics, it's also spam. It's your choice what you want to listen to today right now. Hello?
Yeah, but they choose to live in suffering is a wild statement.
No, but they actually they do so. If you ask a person, do you want to suffer? They're going to be like, no. But if you want to, so right now the Iranians, there's a good chunk of them who actually. Let me go get this money. Let me shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna answer the topic because that's what Alistair asked for, and I want to aid Al in his efforts to maintain a clean room. I typed this in chat before it came up. I don't know. I think that it's too far gone for Trump to resign. I think it would be weakness in his legacy, which I know he's very concerned about, for him to be removed or to peacefully leave for whatever reason other than death. I don't know. I don't.
Let other people speak, please.
Bro, do you have a problem?
Because you live in the fantasy
because I've been incredibly receptive to listening to you through your accent. I've been patient enough to listen to what you had to say. So I'm gonna continue speaking, and I'm gonna finish my point. And you're gonna stay on mute.
Dave, do me a favor. Just respond when she's done, okay? You can go next, all right?
Yeah. So basically, it's a short point anyway. I just don't think that Trump is interested in redemption. I don't think he ever was in his life, to be honest. Maybe from his dad, but certainly not from us lay people. And I don't think that it would be lucrative to his legacy or the intentions for his future generations. I think it would be weak, which he's concerned about looking like in front of anyone. And I think it would further destabilize the position that America currently has. Okay, see you later. Come down.
So basically, when we discuss, we can either discuss based on truth, based on statistically significant truth, there are many truths, or you attack based on one point, and then you disallow other people to go beyond one point. So that's your only chance to win the debate. So when you say that I don't care about anything he say except when he says civilization destruction, that is the only point I care. I don't care about other things he do. And in my opinion, that is the most important thing. Yes, agree that is very important, but your opinion does not represent a lot of freedom loving Iranian in multiple cities in the world, all thanking Trump, come and save us. Okay, they all ignore Trump saying civilization erasure because they know that means the erasure of the Murad regime based on 1,400-year-old civilization that is foreign to the Persian civilization. That foreign civilization must die so that the ancient original Persian civilization will emerge like a phoenix, and that is the whole point. So if you only focus on one thing he say by mistake that you don't understand and spend on your argument, this is not the room for you to continue.
Also, the question the question should be answered with a presupposition that you are giving your opinion, in which case there is no debate on my opinion. It's objective. So you cannot argue subjectively how I fucking feel, bro. So pipe down.
What do you mean people can't argue against you subjectively? The entire conversation is always subjective. This is obviously, subjective, not objective. What I'm trying to say is that all communication is essentially hypnosis. The more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you're going to get. So essentially, it's all political communication all the time. I'm just trying to suggest that if you want true joy, if you want true peace, just become a lawyer or an attorney, because the law is essentially nonviolent. And that's where I think everybody wants to be. I'm a socialist. I want equity for everybody. I don't want homelessness. I don't want disease. I want equal opportunity for everyone to achieve their dreams and goals and prosper. Abundance economics. Everybody wants the same utopia. But you're the problem. It's people like you who refuse to see philosophy as the solution to all of your own personal dilemmas. Therefore, you're polarized with political propaganda. It's up to you, though, to choose philosophy over your own bullshit. I am complete.
Facing here is 1933, right? We saw a Nazi regime coming out. Everybody say silent. Peace, peace, peace. 1938 Munich, right? They signed the agreement. There will be peace. And the UK Prime Minister, look, I have the document. Peace, peace, peace. Okay, but then we end up World War II. And then a couple of years later, Winston Churchill wrote in his book, when you have a time, opportunity to stop the war, and you say nothing without bloodshed. And then when you have a time to stop the war with some bloodshed, and you say nothing, right? Until when you have absolutely no other option but completely subjugation with little hope of surviving, and then you fight. What Trump is doing right now is different from the last 7 presidents. The last 7 presidents all briefed by the CIA. This is the fact. Iran regime is so crazy. It has the end-time ideology. It would block Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz, and bring the whole world into chaos. What would you like to do? Every single one of the last 7 presidents do nothing, because they may lose the election. They would cause exactly what MP said. We are worried about our daily oil, gasoline price, blah, 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 and everything. All single one of us has 0 ball. Has tiny little ball and do nothing. And they never learn from what Winston Churchill wrote in, say, how to prevent World War II. Until 2026, they come up one with the biggest ball against all the no courage president of the past, the last 7, and doing the right thing, irregardless what consequences, because that is the right thing to do. The right thing to correct the mistakes the French left made in 1979 to escort Ayatollah to the Tehran. And President Trump is correcting the history, and everyone here is living in political correctness, ideological left-driven world, not to see the truth and ignore the history. That is the problem.
Trump's approval rating with the Republican Party currently stands at 83.8%, according to Real Clear polling average. Fox News has him at 84. Quinnipiac has him at 89. Big Data Poll has him at 82. Economist YouGov has him at 82. CBS News has him at 88. This is again amongst Republicans.
I don't understand the question.
should Trump resign? Why would he resign? He's popular amongst his party, the people that elected him. You can disagree with him or agree with him. That's fine. That's fine. You're right. But I mean, I skimmed over the article that's posted at the top. It's insane. The article's insane. And somebody obviously just doesn't like Trump and has a axe to grind with him. And that's fine. Again, they have every right to have the opinion. William S. Becker is an opinion contributor. But the entire premise of the article is his resignation is his last chance at redemption. It's silly. Why would he resign? He's popular amongst the people that voted for him.
Xerxes just said that Trump is trying to rewrite history. Isn't everyone rewriting history all the time right now? Even your very existence in this room is an experiment in history in the making. Link is in the chat. Welcome back to Should Trump Resign Immediately? Will he redeem his soul? Will he redeem the soul of the nation? Hello? See, what I think a lot of people are trying to say here on this app, if they believe in the apocalypse or the New World Order or some kind of far-out religious interpretation, because there's a lot of people in cults, let's be honest. I mean, I've seen crazy cult videos, and these are people who, in my opinion, are isolated. They don't have access to information. We're all very lucky to have a social conference call where people from all around the world can come and complain. I recently started the Jewish Complaint Department, another house here, and if you want to complain, we will take your complaint and create a room about it.
What is redemption anyway? What the fuck are you talking about? He's tweaking. Dude, he's tweaking really.
Go back what Scott started, how to improve the message.
So if anybody knows Trump's personality, and you've even seen the biographic film about him and the 3 rules of his world-famous lawyer, Ray Cohen, you will understand if he implements the 3 rules of Ray Cohen, Trump can't be stopped. He's a bullseye. Nothing stops a bullseye. And so if you hate Trump in your heart, it's my opinion that the orange president and his blonde wig and his blue suit and red tie could be your moment of enlightenment, of liberation. I know many Trump haters that live with pain in their back. They live with pain in their hamstrings. They got bad hips. They got shoulder pain, elbow pain, arthritis all around the body. But if you were to use Donald Trump as your path of liberation in the same way that you could use the Buddha or Moses or Muhammad or Krishna, Donald Trump could be your moment of universal enlightenment. You think I am joking, but I am being absolutely serious. And if you think I'm being a comedian, you should understand the rules of communication, the principles of communication, that all communication is hypnosis, and all communication is magic. All communication is politics. All communication is hypnosis. All communication is projection. And all communication is spam. And it is your choice to listen to me screaming into my phone on a conference call app. It is entirely your choice right now to listen to me talking to you. You could hit the leave button right now, but you choose to listen to me. I am complete. I have landed my plane.
That's what happens if you spend too much time here. I don't know. It's my first time.
Did he leave?
No, I think he's right there.
Oh, no, there he is. Oh. Kitover, my man. What's going on, buddy?
Balls, Scott. Like, he's tripping balls.
He's the man. That's my man.
Yeah, he's on something out there. He's something.
Well, I'm being facetious, but I listen to a lot of psychonauts, and Trump just signed this MDMA or this psychiatric, So what I'm trying to say is that basically it's supposed to treat severe depression, and I think there are a lot of severely depressed people on Clubhouse. But at the same time, I think intelligence is probably the natural way to alleviate depression, and that means books. And in my PTR, I have a book, which is the Isis tablet, which is a hieroglyphic ancient papyrus, or actually it's a copper bust plate. Anyways, it's just art. And so all I'm trying to say is be creative if, your life is retrograde and it's not going so well. The problem with Islam today is that they're still living in 1655 or 1455. It's not 2026 to these people. And that's the danger, because when science and AI catches up with Islamic terrorism, the industrial Islamic terrorism complex, the world has a very, retrograde philosophy. If you're a woman and you analyze Mohammedan law and you realize you're just property and you're always tied to the hip to the man and you want to be liberated, nah. Not in Islam, baby. We own your ass. And that's why women have to endorse the war, because women hold up half the sky. And you should accept personal responsibility for this war if you're a woman. And until I hear you accept personal responsibility, I don't believe a woman has ever accepted personal responsibility for a war. Because this is a war against philosophy. And the Islamic philosophy is terrorism, sexual dominance, and all kinds of other disgusting Mohammedan laws, which I'm not exactly sure about, because I am not a Muslim. I am complete.
So you just mean the women of the GOP then, right?
Yeah,
Alistair,
women of the GOP
are you taking
the best women on earth.
Oh. Okay. Why do you feel like that?
Well, Trump is a rapist. So you begin there.
Well, you think he's a rapist. You think he's a pedophile. You think he's a cannibal. What planet do you live on, sir?
Okay.
This guy's like a wind-up to it. He's gonna go do another bump, apparently. Jeez,
No, these are things I hear on the app. My brain is like a recording box. I'm repeating back to you the bullshit that I hear projected from this conference call app called Clownhouse, which sells all your
So
data.
why don't we focus on one thing at a time?
Okay, Billy Sunshine, tell us where we're at.
Shut the fuck up and listen for a minute.
Okay, tell us where we're at, Billy Sunshine.
Was it Trump who said grab him by the pussy? You can do that when you're famous. Was it Trump who was found guilty of sexually aggressing on a woman? Was it Trump who had to pay off dozens of women? True or a fact? False or true? What do you think?
true or fact?
Yeah, really sorry.
Well, I went through the Epstein files, and you know who I saw in the Epstein files? I saw Bill Clinton in every single fucking file having a good old time with Jeffrey Epstein. The best fucking time. I didn't see Donald Trump having the best time with Jeff, but I did hear where Trump called the Miami PD and said, you gotta take care of this fucking guy. He's a problem.
Wait, you did see Trump having a good time with Jeffrey Epstein?
No, I did. I'm being
And like the
facetious.
multiple photos?
I'm being
Oh,
facetious.
okay.
Ellie, for sure. Can't tell the truth because they have
No, I think he's
Yes, Trump the rapist.
No, he's
Which is not what they call
I
it.
can't even tell.
Trump the rapist is really whatever follows Trump has. If
you don't understand that Trump is the worst thing that ever happened to this country, you're not paying attention. It's Trump who is trying to stop science in the CDC and places like Harvard. It's Trump who allowed Musk and his boys to get in there and destroy USAID, and now 600,000 people have fucking died.
So not
It's Trump
no.
who doesn't let the Congress do their job. Everything about America that is good, Trump is attacking. He's our Orban, and we have to treat him the same way.
He's our Orban.
It's Trump whose best friends are all dictators, not our traditional friends. Trump is a disease, and we've caught it, and we need to get rid of it.
Well, see, that's why I say, Billy, Trump could be your moment of enlightenment.
I'll be finished in a second. The idea that he would ever resign, that's insane. He's incapable.
Of course he's not going to resign. He would never pull a Nixon. Nixon says he even regretted it. You would regret that decision because then you got Hillary Clinton giggling and laughing that she ruined your life. And if you want to go down that path as a man, you are a stupid man. And so, Billy Sunshine, all I'm saying is that all communication is projection. How much of yourself do you see in Donald Trump, Billy?
I'm afraid. I eat the same way he does.
But you're I can't get over what you said though. You said Trump is the worst thing to happen to America.
Yeah.
Like worse.
And I used to work for a guy on my radio station who thought Trump was the best president we ever had. Man.
Worse than slavery.
No.
You just said that Trump is the worst thing to happen to America.
Well, you know.
Worse than the Great Depression.
It's 80% true. But everything I say, I like to make strong generalizations, so let me remind you that the 80-20 rule is always in effect when I'm speaking.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So he's not the worst thing.
No. Is he the third or fourth worst thing?
Is he a threat to democracy?
You answer that for me, Ben.
Billy, why don't you just tell us, if you were the president...
Well, you need to start paying attention, my friend.
Billy, what? You know, I got a great question for you, Billy.
You believe that he's a threat to democracy?
Absolutely.
Billy, let's just clear this up once and for all, Ben. Billy, if you were the president...
Stop with the bumps and, fucking breathe for,
Oh, go to the mirror and tell yourself that, Ben. Billy, what I'm saying is, if you were the president of the United States of America, Billy, what are your top 3 priorities, Dr. Billy? Thank you.
So, Billy, is he really a threat to democracy, or is he only 80% of a threat to democracy?
He's really a threat. He's 100% a threat to democracy.
So, Billy, if you were the president of the United States of America, what would your top 3 priorities be, Dr. Billy?
Branches of government, and he's not interested in listening to the other 2. That's pretty clear, isn't it?
So, do you think that during the next, either the midterms or the following presidential elections, you think that there's a chance that we don't have an election as a direct result of Donald Trump? That's you're saying that he's
Yes, I believe that Donald Trump is going to find a way to postpone the election. He's going to say, what he's going to do, he's going to have his bully boys come out and
I've got some new Trump derangement syndrome pills.
shut the fuck up.
It's in the pharmacy section next to the Constitution, and my attorney and lawyer, you should try to take a TDS pill sometime and reread the law, because your projection is insane. It's very low IQ. And I don't know what world you live on, because lawyers, Supreme Court, Congress, you guys are delusional. You guys are having your own conversation. You're screaming into a conference call. Yeah, that's good. There you go. You just leave. Go meditate. That's what you need. There you go, gentlemen. Now you come to the realization and the enlightenment that I hoped you would find, which is the leave button. Because just like that movie Network, when he says, open up your windows and scream out, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Network. You should go see it sometime, ladies and gentlemen. And you'll realize that what Scott and El Normo here are doing is they're actually putting on a network TV show on CBS right now with Barry Weiss. And I'm happy to be a part of the production as a co-producer. Success requires excellent content, and good content should bring you the contentment that you're looking for. If you come on here every single day, 8 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours a day, or you record rooms 24 hours, 7 days a week, like me, or Dr. Francine, who's got opinions on everything as well. The point is, the brain can present an incredible variety of opinions on every single topic that there is on this app, which is so exciting. Thank God for you, because you are special. You are beautiful. And right now, at this very moment, you are being hypnotized by Alistair. And if you don't like poetry, well, guess what? I bet you're an anti-Semite. If you don't read poetry at least once a week, I guarantee you're an anti-Semite. It's 100% fact. It's like being on Hinge or Bumble. If there's two chicks and there's a fat girl and an ugly girl, it's 100% always the ugly girl. It's never the hot chick. These are the rules and laws of nature, and there are psychological components of anti-Semitism that require these people to hate poetry. They hate life. Life itself they hate. I am complete. I rest my case.
So do you have one of these like episodes per day, or?
Only when I'm live on YouTube creating content. Link is in the chat.
Oh, you are currently creating content.
Currently, right now, for the past 2 hours and 50 minutes. This is all being sent to Barry Weiss at CBS, FYI. It's a new show on Paramount.
Is it a new show, or are you trying to get picked up?
No, it's new. We got it signed 2 weeks ago. Thanks, El Normo, for the contact. Send you your royalty check later, babe.
What's the premise of the show, Alistair? It's just yelling.
Yeah, it's content. You ever been to a bang room? Oh, just go in the hallway on Clubhouse, hit the leave button right now, go in the hallway and click on any room and just take a little sample. That's called a bang room, baby.
All of the rooms are called bang rooms? I'm having a hard time believing that this was pitched at all. I don't know. Like, who would watch it? Especially on CBS. Who's gonna watch that?
Well, see, it's all about post-production editing. And so, if you've ever seen Seinfeld, a lot of people watched that and said, why would anybody want to watch that show? That show sucks. But Seinfeld has produced over $10 billion in revenue. And I think if you analyze, how much you get paid per word in your life, I think we would find out that I probably get paid a lot more per word than you ever will. It's just my opinion, but I could be wrong. You want to be a part of the show?
I'm already an entertainer. I'm good, thanks. And I certainly would never work for Barry. That's crazy. But, I mean, congratulations to you, I guess. Ride the wave while it exists.
Okay, so Xerxes, let me ask you a question. What's your worldview and how do you describe economic philosophy? Again, the question is, what's your worldview and how do you describe economic philosophy? Thank you.
What's my worldview? What's your worldview? What is my worldview? I mean, I don't have too much faith in the generations of the past. That's my worldview. And the generations of the past seem to have like an incredible amount of power right now. And it seems unusually oppressive. said already, I'm misanthropic, so there's a disdain for humanity that I have, but it's just because, oh man, I've had so many examples of better humans than the ones that just collectively exist for the most part. It's kind of trash. And what was your second question? Economic what? Hey, Alistair. Economic what?
All right, the next question is, what was the last book you read?
Oh, Frankenstein. Yeah.
What parts of yourself did you see in the monster and in the doctor? Do you associate more with the doctor or more with the monster?
Well, I think I associate with both. I think my tenacity and drive is, the parts of Victor that I identify most with, like, being thirst-driven with goals to, like, a crippling degree at times is something that's, like, pretty prevalent in my life. But I guess, like, because of my stature, I identify with the monster, at least in, my younger years, because there's a lot of othering that happens to people who are like atypical. So like I'm like a giant, I'm like a tall woman, right? And there are linear threads in the way that the townspeople treat.
Excuse me, Dr. Monster, could you try to be succinct? Our time is limited.
What? Nobody else is fucking talking. You want me to be succinct because you want to like yell again, or I can do that for you. I can just stop talking right now.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to prove a point that there is a 100% correlation between anti-Semites like Xerxes, Franklin, NPC, and many other anti-Semites on that. They do not like poetry. They do not read poetry. If you ask them the last book they read, it wasn't a poetry book. There is a 100% correlation between anti-Semites and people that don't read poetry. So if you haven't picked up a poetry book recently, I encourage you right now to pick up a poetry book and live a little. Life is full of joy. Xerxes, I wanted to ask you a question. What do you think the word dialectic therapy means? Again, the key word here is dialectic therapy. What do you think the word dialectic therapy means, Dr. Xerxes?
God. What is happening? Are you good, dude? Hello? You just called me an anti-Semite and assumed that I didn't read poetry. What is happening?
So I guess I'm anti-Semitic. Goddamn. I mean, I guess I'm anti-Semitic because I don't want to pay more at the gas pump.
Huh?
Yes, I guess that makes you anti-Semitic to like higher gas prices. And next question.
All communication is projection. Can you imagine going to the gas pump and filling up your car and being like, God damn, that was $100. I guess that makes me an anti-Semite. Could you imagine coming to a conference call app to just talk over people like it was a schizophrenic jumble of a bang room? People just screaming into their phone by the dozens, talking about nothing. I am now going to show you a quick sample of what Clubhouse is like in what they call the trenches, or the ghettos of Clubhouse.
That shit real good. I do this and that, and it's flattering to her. Another nigga say this shit, she gonna be like, ugh, like you weird, nigga. So
certain niggas, they like to be objectified by certain men. That's a fact.
It's definitely by certain men, and it's definitely certain women like to be objectified, because not all women like to be objectified. Also, the men that flipped it on her, because I know you came then when you came then, Rain, she was making it seem like, and I know you came then, you said, yeah, right, cool, but she was making it seem like every nigga that dressed a certain way is a degenerate ass nigga, right? And people get mad because the niggas flipped it on her, and if they were trying to make her feel bad, because no one had that same energy. No one had that same energy when she was in here unsolicitedly attacking people. No one attacked her.
Flicks. So what I'm trying to point out is poetry is a hell of a lot more interesting than Clubhouse. An audiobook by Alan Watts is so much more fascinating than Clubhouse. So why do people choose to listen to what I would call the trenches hypnosis? The hypnosis of the trenches. Hello? Ever hear of Shakespeare? Ever hear of Edgar Allan Poe? Ever hear of Aleister Crowley?
Laughing at him. He thinks he's funny.
It is. You guys don't find this funny?
I find
No.
John Kitover. He's
No, this is
Oh, this is Kitover.
This is Kitover.
Yeah.
Wait, why are you saying it like that?
He's a Clubhouse celebrity.
No,
That's the
I think he's more of a Clubhouse historian, maybe.
Okay.
Because he records everything he live streams rooms all the time. So he probably spends the most time on Clubhouse than anyone in this room.
Oh my god. I got that from the 20 hours a day statement, and I was like, what has the time for that? But that's interesting. I guess maybe it'll be fruitful in hindsight for someone.
Yeah, like let's say 10 years from now, you stop working from home and you actually decide to be somebody, right?
I don't work from home, bro.
Sure, it doesn't matter if you don't or not. It's just be the character.
Okay, I'm working from
home. So 15 years from now, you're a black woman. I'm assuming you're a black woman. That's your character.
I am, yeah.
You're Kamala. Your hair is Kamala, and you're running for Senate. And Siobhan has a recording from you from today being an anti-Semite. So I think that's why, yeah. So he's the person who's recording you in the room when you think no one's recording you.
Yes, correct. The anonymous feature, for sure, but this is called capitalism in America. And right now, you see my gay emoji Anon in the audience. That's in a recording studio in a different section of my house with about 20 phones pointed at it. So this entire 3 hours has been recorded, live streamed, and it's entertainment. And if you take me seriously and you don't think I'm funny, well then you don't know that you're part of a practical joke. This is the Bob Faggot Saget, you're on hidden camera. That's the show I run. I produce it for Barry Weiss here at the CBS facilities in Hollywood. I submit the tapes, they review it, they edit it. If they want to use it, they use it. But I'm just a content creator here working for Barry, and God bless you all. I hope you have a fruitful and productive day. Thanks for being a part of the production. If you are upset that I record and live stream Clubhouse, well, that's a you problem. That's definitely not a me problem. I am complete.
It's crazy. I mean, it takes all kinds, I suppose. Although I guess I should stop asking questions. I don't understand. It's not actually content creation. It's content regurgitation, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like when a cow barfs up some grass to eat it again, so it can digest easier.
Yeah, creating things would be, something generated from the self, not just like a different form of a React video.
Well, basically, you can boil down life into 4 primary components: cause and effect, and action, and reaction.
something was off the way you were reading that Churchill quote. It was a little.
Anyone who reads Churchill verbatim in 2026 has mental health issues. Like, no one.
Well, what's funny about that is, Churchill was very popular even here in America. So to
Unless it's like a Nick Fuentes, unless it's like a white identity.
What is wrong with you? Alista, please. What problem? Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk.
Take it out of me, Habibti.
Let's talk.
Nam, Habibti.
Speak. I don't understand you. Please speak normal.
Yes, Habibti.
Normal is not gonna happen here, bro. I'm sorry about that.
Why? What is you? I understand you. Harass is. I understand you not.
لا حبيبتي.
We understand.
لا حبيبتي.
Hey, what is wrong with this guy? This guy is. What is your problem?
Are you a child?
I think this is Giant. This is Alistair. What is wrong with you?
Well, it's clear that Alistair's a child. We're not talking.
This is Giant.
What's interesting is our Lord and Savior said, if you want to be saved, you have to be born again as a child. What does that mean?
There you go. Then you're free, man. Be free. Yes.
I want to also be free. Why only him free? I want to.
What? I can't. I'm not granting anyone freedom. It was just a term.
You say you be free and I am not free. What's wrong?
Okay, be free, bro. I don't know. What?
Okay, sister. What is wrong with you? How are you? Are you good?
I don't know.
So the thing about Clubhouse is it is also an ELS platform. English is a second language. If you're looking to improve your English language pronunciation skills, go to pronunciationworkshop.com right now. Are you looking to learn how to speak Native American English? Well, this is your big opportunity. This is a quote from the Native American Wisdom book. It goes a little something like this. My heart is filled with joy. Repeat after me. When I see you here on Clubhouse, as the brooks fill with water, when the snows melt in the spring, and I feel glad, as the ponies are when the fresh grass starts in the beginning of the year. I heard of your coming when I was many sleeps away, and I made but few camps before I met you. I knew that you had come to do good to me and to my people. I looked for the benefits, which would last forever. And so my face shines with joy as I look upon you. That was 10 Bears at Yamparika Comanche. That's Native American philosophy. Isn't that beautiful? Moderators, welcome back to Should Trump Resign to Be Redeemed? We haven't heard Scott do a Trump impersonation yet in this exciting room. Scott, take it away!
Please take a break.
Habibti, I want to get Scott to do a Trump impersonation to give us a new national address so I can clip it and put it on YouTube. Take it away, Scott!
Take it away, Scott. Please take it away, Scott. Hi, Tati.
Oh, hey Xerxes, I didn't know I was on stage or off yet.
What's going on?
Just listening. Interesting room.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm. Very interesting characters in here. Looks like it's still
I just describe it as like, you know, like a shaken bottle of soda, just waiting for somebody to pop the top. This room shows you the state of Clubhouse. It's over. Matt, why do you believe that? Not that I have, any dog in this fight.
I will say one thing about the demise of Clubhouse. So I'm part of it. I mod in 2 rooms pretty regularly. I don't do pop-up rooms very often, but I mod in like 2 rooms. One's called the Critical Thinking Forum, which is mostly about politics and news. At 5 o'clock every day, EST. And we've gotten as many as like 1,200, 1,300 people in that room, and like, we run it for usually less than 2 hours. Our numbers are way down. And then I to a few hundred at the best. And then I mod this with this guy Steve Appel on the weekends. These 2 rooms, Ask Uncle Steve and Ask the Atheist. And again, those rooms we've had as much as 1,000, 1,100 people come through in 3 hours, and we get nowhere near those numbers now. So I think we're in like a multi-stage decline. I think like the first big decline was post-COVID. That's when a lot of people fled the app. They got back to life, And then there's been some other decline, and now I think we're seeing like some of the last bits of decline right now. It's one of the reasons why we're experimenting for this room, the Critical Thinking Forum, with Twitter Spaces, because we're like, we need a backup plan for when Clubhouse just pulls the plug, right? But it seems like it could be at any time.
Really? Like now that Clubhouse has started to monetize, I think that their shelf life is a lot longer than.
So you think that the premium membership will kind of, there's enough people to sustain it?
I don't see Clubhouse shutting down anytime soon. And I think even without the premium memberships, it wouldn't have shut down. Because I think that we don't have. I don't think we understand how many people use this app across the world. Like they do a good job of siloing us, so we don't understand how big this app actually is. On the U.S. side, it's smaller than it was during the pandemic, but every single tech company overestimated the returns that they get from the pandemic. That's why there were tech layoffs. But I still think Clubhouse is here to stay, most definitely. If it was going to fail, it would have failed a long time ago. I don't think it's going to fail to the point where they're going to get rid of the app. Nah.
So by monetize, do you mean like the little coin system, or do you mean like the subscription model that Scott's talking about? Okay.
Both. So buying coins and also having a premium membership, to me, that should have came out a long time ago if we're looking at their own money for their own sake. But I don't think Clubhouse is as down bad as we casually just say it is. Just given the fact that I've seen thousands of people in rooms, but they're just from Brazil. They're just from Ecuador. I don't think we understand how big this app is.
So I'm looking right now, and it says statistics right now are 10 million people worldwide.
That's what you don't know about Clubhouse.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm sorry. It's 10 million weekly active users.
Right.
Wow.
I just got my my K1. From I'm an investor, a minor investor in Clubhouse, and the major investors just wrote to us and told us that Clubhouse has 30 months more runway without doing anything.
Oh wow. Okay. So almost 3 years without needing to
monetize, but it is trying to monetize now with all these tricks. And it's never been focused on the United States. I mean, maybe in the very beginning it was, but
it's the British app. I'm very proud to say.
But it is worldwide, and they're thinking. The other thing they wrote in my investor letter is that they are looking for other places to, other countries to roll out.
What do you mean by British app? What does that mean?
I mean, let's stick to the topic. Dr. Francine.
No.
Should Donald Trump resign?
Please.
To be redeemed. Should Trump resign?
Okay.
I mean, from like a Persian point of view, I can just say like the massive big rooms where you see like Persian people come in and like have discussions sometimes, like 3, 4, 5,000 people in there. So it's like it's quite a political app, and I think you kind of like oversee this because you're using it as more like a social app, and it's like, oh, the friends you used to have like 3 years ago are not on it anymore. But it's growing on a political sort of spectrum where now everything going on in Iran, that's how people come together and like, you know, share their views or unify or assimilate. And I think that's pretty good.
Thank you,
That's interesting, BB. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, you also have like big Chinese rooms. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, most people just see it as like a social app. But I think it's more like somehow, it's very political for many people. Why are you giving me thumbs down?
Because you say this big Chinese rooms.
Yeah, I've seen big Chinese rooms. What's
When
your
is the
problem with
last
that?
time you've seen them, though? Hello?
Well, I mean, I mean, I see more Persians right now, but I used to see bigger Chinese. Okay, but like, so for instance, like, I think there's too many black rooms at the moment. Like, I stay away from those because it's like they're always discussing like women's hair and like how many people did you sleep with or crash outs and stuff. And I don't find that particularly like fruitful. Like, I'm not really interested in
Well,
that.
I don't know. As someone who's black and agrees,
But at least there are some people.
Hey, ma'am, do you know how to set the fuck up? What's going on? Seriously.
That's what I'm saying.
You're speaking and going on mute. You're speaking and going like, what are you doing right now?
Shut up.
You're talking during people's submission.
And she was talking, you interrupted her.
No, I'm gonna respond.
She was talking first.
Said a lot, stupid. So
I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass.
as someone who agrees.
Meet me outside.
How about that? I think that only an ignorant person would say they're all about hair and other dumb shit. Because even though I think it's too many black rooms, they're not all about the same shit. They're about everything. I just left
I
a
mean,
stock
who
room.
cares about black women?
Ma'am, shut the fuck up. I just left a black room that was about stocks. Before that, I was in a.
What did you learn?
That was about baseball. Well,
How much money did you learn to
the point
make?
is that was there. So, before that, I left a black room about baseball.
What'd you
Before
learn
that,
there?
there was a black room about geopolitics. So I do agree it's too many black rooms. I do see other races more. I still do because I have a good algorithm. But to just say that it's all black people talking about hair, I mean, either you have a dumb algorithm because you're dumb, or you're gaslighting.
Well, BT, I like to teach people and tell people what I mean without being mean. I think it's important that we use this app to tell people what we mean without being mean. And I am a supermodel. I do work on TV. I'm highly desired in the industry. And everybody wants to be like me because I'm beautiful. And not many people understand the point of what this app is. It's not to criticize people or complain. It's to read poetry. That's the great point. Just read some poetry. Your life might be a lot better if you try to be like a supermodel like me. A supermodel who reads great poetry and reads great books all day for CBS with Barry Weiss and makes $1 million a year as a supermodel. You're a stupid ass dumbass. Stop calling people stupid ass. You're such a stupid ass, you dumbass.
Made him leave, you stupid ass.
Shut up, dumbass. You're such a stupid ass.
Over, my friend. John Kitover.
He's fucking multiplying.
He's unbelievable.
Everybody wants to be like John Kitover these days. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he reads some of the greatest books ever written by men. Real men who know how to enjoy life and read poetry. Stupid ass. Not like you, stupid ass. You're just a gay guy living in your mom's basement pretending to be a black woman. What's the point? What's the point? There's no point. He's a gay white guy pretending to be a black woman. That's ridiculous. Not me. That's stupid. That's not me. That's stupid. What's the point?
John. So Xerxes.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about you a little bit. Sure. You're interesting. So what rooms do you hang out with?
I spent time in RPO. What I use apps like
I don't know RPO.
Oh, research purposes only. And it's a group of mostly women.
Yeah, sort of a dumb
Well, I mean, they're multiracial people in the room. They're from everywhere. They live everywhere. They're got it. Yeah.
No, not everyone.
Okay. Did you guys want to answer the question? Okay, I'll let them answer your questions.
Thank you for putting stupid in the goo.
I put stupid in the goo. Yeah, okay, so you hang out there. I don't know research purposes only. I don't know what that room is.
We just hang out and they talk about, I mean, it just depends. They are topics that are largely centered around the African diaspora, but it's like more nuanced than just like typical gender war bullshit, which is the thing that's like kind of kept me around them because I can't really do gender war stuff with people who like don't love themselves, which seems to be a large percentage of people on Clubhouse. So, but yeah, and then other than that, like because I've only been in Clubhouse for like 6 months or something like that.
Oh wow! Yeah. Well, that's amazing. So I was
newbie.
Yeah, I was in for the golden age. I came in during COVID.
Yeah, let's see. Well, I think a lot of the remaining people, like all the people here, pretty much are remainers from that time, the survivors of the pandemic. Which is interesting to hear, like all the lore, you know, like we'll talk about things, and then somebody will come in with a lore bomb, and then everybody's like, oh no, because like back in 2022, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I'll just listen, you know.
Like some of my best friends in the world are from Clubhouse.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm really. I'm kind of moving around. I'm a little bit heading back to Philadelphia and having all my stuff with me. And a friend of mine from Clubhouse, I've met multiple times. She's picking me up. She's driving me back to Philadelphia.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I have a friend from LA who I've stayed at his house. I've met up with. So I mean, there was a camaraderie back then.
Mr. Trump, are you friends with Jeffrey or just collecting compliments?
I think different connections, like, because I'm going to different social audio apps and different social apps, you know, like Discord and a couple of others, and like they all have their own behaviors, and I find that like Clubhouse is more so like a mixture of people who are either like kids of the internet who grew up on the internet, like they know like internet etiquette, they know when to spot a troll, they know all those things, and then also sprinkled in heavily with like people who use this app like a diary kind of almost, so like they'll come in and drop in for however long, it doesn't matter.
Are you friends with
But
Jeffrey?
then there's always the knowledge that you just go back to your normal life, you can uninstall this app at any moment, it actually doesn't mean anything. And those two confluences are really cool. But then what I've learned in Clubhouse is that because some people are operating inside the internet and some people are operating outside of the internet, tensions arise and, you know, consequences come to people that they didn't know were possible. Because some people don't know that they're talking to real life people.
High Club with a gray and a madness the other day.
But it's I tend to. I think
Mr. Trump.
One of the things I like best about Clubhouse
Ask you one final question before I let you go. We've talked about it time and time again on Chicago Report, the team takeovers. A lot of people seem to pass the buck when it comes to this topic. They say,
that was a good discussion. You know, like because this argument was super
we rarely hear
provocative.
that people come.
It was interesting.
Step it out. 1, 2, hands across. Got it. That's it. Feel that street shake. Now we breathe together, sink into it. Warrior 2, open it.
It's a discussion. Going, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm used to. So I'm a Detroit man. That's where I come from.
Ah, wow.
Yeah. So I'm like.
Oh, moderators. Moderators. Moderators.
It's a hard shift, dude. Yeah,
Excuse me, moderators. I got a question for both of you, and I just would like one sentence, not more than one sentence responses. Can you tell me what philosophy is?
Etymologically? Sure. I mean, love of wisdom, right? Philo, love, sophos. I mean, no, beyond that. I mean, it's...
I just asked for one sentence. I asked for concise one sentence. I'll repeat it. Give me a one sentence response to what is philosophy. Okay, Xerxes, what's your one sentence response?
To what is philosophy? Philosophy is people who like to intentionally, publicly jerk themselves off about the things that they haven't reconciled with inside themselves.
Would you call that politics?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. What did you say?
I said, would you call that politics?
It could be politics.
It could be politics, but that's definitely what philosophy is, correct?
I'm reading a book right now, Roger Scruton's History of Modern Philosophy. So I will tell you what Scruton says to this question. What is philosophy? He's a British guy, so I appreciate his syntax. What is philosophy? There is no simple answer to this question. Indeed, it is in one respect the main question of philosophy, whose history is a prolonged search for its own definition. Nevertheless, a kind of answer can be given in terms that explain what follows. Philosophy involves the attempt to formulate and also to answer certain questions. These questions are distinguished by their abstract and ultimate character. I think that's a great paragraph definition. It's a little longer than a sentence, but the whole abstraction and ultimacy, right? It abstracts things, right? I mean, abstraction, you're asking, the part from the whole, and ultimacy, right? It's not asking about chili recipes or, how good was Buffy the Vampire Slayer when Angel left. It's asking ultimate questions, right, about the true, the good, and beautiful. Abstract and ultimate.
Well, I think the most important question is basically what's in the books, meaning that an actuarial scientist, an accountant, a financial analyst can actually give us the more accurate picture of the situation, and then we should base the conversation based off of what's in the books, unless you think through your revolutionary politic, for some reason, somehow, you can get around the bank's ledger. It's not going to happen. So, hello?
Hello?
I mean, what is your definition there, my friend John?
Yeah, it's the same one with you, which is the love of wisdom, the pursuit of wisdom, the enjoyment of wisdom, the joy of the law, because philosophy is not just wisdom, philosophy is also law, and that's why I am a practicing attorney and lawyer trying to liberate my people.
See, I think what's interesting about Scruton's definition is the abstract and ultimacy, and he fleshes that out, because I do think you can love. I mean, I know that philosophy, the etymology is love of wisdom. It's part of why I answered that way. But on some level, you could love wisdom and not be that philosophical, right? You could define wisdom in a way that doesn't prefer the kind of abstract, critical reflection that at least philosophy in the West does. I'm leaning on kind of a Western definition, because if we looked at Eastern philosophy, that might be, it just would be a different conversation.
Well, I talked to my attorney the other day while I'm preparing for an upcoming case, and she said, "What do you do all day long, John? Describe your day to me." And I said, "Well, I'm not exactly sure how to describe what it is that I do." And she said, "Do you read books?" I said, "Yes, I do read books." And so all I'm trying to say is pick up a good poetry book right now and read it. Set yourself free from the hypnosis known as Clubhouse. You don't have to worry about the fear of missing out. There is no FOMO. As Scott has confirmed, we are making plans to exit the app and go completely to X Spaces because we believe that this app could and must shut down for national security reasons. Because Amir in his terrorist room, his anti-Semitic death trap, which is brainwashing all these good people of Clubhouse to hate the innocent Jew, it's disgusting. It's despicable. And if you're an anti-Semite, there's a 100% confirmation and correlation that you hate poetry. And you don't read poetry. And you will never read poetry. Pick up a book and prove it!
That is not true because I like T.S. Eliot and I like his poetry.
Oh my God.
And his critical stuff. But T.S. Eliot was a man of letters who certainly was no fan of the Jews. So John, I can prove it to you. You can read and write poetry and not like Jews.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, what if you don't read poetry but you write? Still anti-Semitic, I'm just saying.
Oh, so
These days, I mean, the fact that you go to Starbucks or Chick-fil-A, I mean, there's a lot of anti-Semites these days.
Well, what I'm trying to point out is that there are four great powers in reality or principles.
Oh, again.
It's cause and effect,
One thing
or
that John
art,
Kitover's always done for me
or art and
for
critic.
he's always fucking made me laugh.
Those are the four words that I like to think about, which is art and critic or cause and effect, meaning that when I get into conflict or confrontations with people, because I will admit that I'm intentionally obnoxious to try to create some type of different medium of exchange, meaning that when Borat first came out and you saw Borat, people thought it was so funny because this guy pranked everybody in the movie to think he was some Eastern European reporter from Kazakhstan. So that's kind of what I like to think that I'm doing in my art medium. And thank you for participating. Hello?
I want to go back to anti-Semitism for a minute because it's interesting. I think what's interesting is that you have like Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens, and their brand of anti-Semitism is dovetailing with the kind of anti-Semitism on the progressive left. I find that really intriguing.
And what kind is that?
Wait, their brand? Wait, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, their brand of anti-Semitism? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So is it anyone who has any critiques? Anyone who's an isolationist? Anyone who's MAGA? Truly MAGA? Anyone who's America First? They're anti-Semitic because they don't want to just open their cheeks and let Israel do whatever the fuck it wants all the time with our bodies and our American. It's our soldiers getting sent over there, and it's our taxpayer dollars.
No. But it morphs.
I know what I'm saying.
It morphs into well, I mean, it's different, but it does. I mean, it morphs into like Tucker being supersessionist.
But he's always been that.
Look, I don't think. Okay, so.
Do you want to tag me in, Scott?
I don't think that Tucker's anti-Semitism. I don't think he's always been superceptive. I mean, he also didn't always talk this theologically, and now he's really doing like traditional anti-Semitic Christian replacement theory, right? So it's not just critiques of Israel, it's critiques of Jews. That's what that means. You speak English, don't you? So
I speak English much better than you do.
It's intriguing to me that he's.
I have one final question before I let you go.
Ben,
So Ben wanted to take the baton.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's deconstructionism. Like, if you're talking about what is the similar strand of anti-Semitism between the Tucker Carlson right and the far left in the United States, it's rooted in deconstructionism. So I think that there are overlaps of anti-Semitism, no doubt, but I don't think it's not rooted in anti-Semitism. Let me put it that way. It's not saying that the root of all problems is the Jews. It's saying there are power structures in place, and we need to tear those power structures down. Like that's where it's coming from. So that's why, like, as a moderate, as somebody who's moderate but leans conservative, like, I like the systems in place. Do I think justice is equally applied? Absolutely not. I'm certainly America first in the sense that I want what's best for my country, but I'm also not America only. So Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump have been fighting back and forth for several months. And again, I think Tucker's entire approach is more of the deconstructionist side, and that's why you're seeing him, and then also Marjorie Taylor Greene. You mentioned the three of Kelly, Tucker Carlson, and Kim Sowens, but I would say that there's Marjorie Taylor Greene's also there as well. There's a couple of others.
You know, I get the disruption thing, right? And I think it's one of the reasons why Trump has been elected twice, right? I mean, because it's one of the reasons too. I think in 2016, a lot of progressives couldn't believe that people went from Bernie Sanders to Donald Trump. That makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, I was a Bernie supporter, but I didn't vote for Trump. But Hillary was certainly not disruption, nor was Kamala Harris, both of whom I voted for. Now Biden, I think the reason why Biden is an establishment guy won was largely because of COVID, and he didn't campaign, which helped. But I think that no incumbent could have won an election during COVID because people were just so frustrated and so angry about lockdowns and this and that. It's just, you know, whoever, it could have been Obama, it could have been anybody, they would have been voted out. But I do think it's interesting that Tucker Carlson, with the platform he has, and again, I'm not saying he can't be critical of Israel and Netanyahu. I think it's awful. But when you're talking about Christian replacement,
tell us, like, why, as an American black man, you love this guy?
Because I'm not just like almost God, and that basically the church is the true Israel. I mean, that stuff. In both in mainline Protestant and evangelical circles, and that kind of talk.
Ask me one final question before I let you go. We've talked about it time and time again on Chicago Report, the team takeovers. A lot of people seem to
take up that cause with his platform.
Chicago, we're free to move again. Let this be Lucy.
That's just not about Israel. That's about Jews. And theologically.
Our top story tonight. Chicago. I'm John Kitover. Chicago, I'm John Kitover, your libertarian.
So I think on the deconstruction side, I think it's rooted in deconstructionism.
No, I do think. I mean, look, whenever you think of Trump, right? I mean, I think people wanted disruption and deconstruction, you're right? And Trump is
the past couple weeks, I want to know, is that a strategy that you think has been...
Deconstructor. Tucker's a deconstructor.
Oh, okay. I thought, yeah, okay.
That's the point that I'm saying is what separates Tucker, the Tucker strain of the right, and the far left strain from the moderate left and the moderate right.
So you're down there with yourself versus you can collectively freak max with everyone else.
Alright,
just quick comment and then
he gets pissed and bloviates about it. That's fine, but like he's not doing anything to really truly undermine the system in the way that Tucker Carlson, or again, you're looking at people.
the South Korean Asian man.
Like the squad.
And I think there's something to be said about these South Koreans because they're so hardworking, so resilient, and their Samsung cell phones so good that they're the #1 competitor and manufacturer even before Apple. None of that could have been achieved without the robotic, mindless slavery. Over 40 million South Americans, South Koreans endlessly picking their fingers through military wires to connect circuit boards with the internet.
I think when you define that even the New Testament doesn't take, right?
Now we gotta go help people customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual.
Covenant with Jews is
Where's the golf cart?
the New Testament, but when you basically go beyond the New Testament to Christian replacement theory, that's you've got an issue with Jews. Yeah, I think you've got an issue with Jews. I don't think I'm manufacturing that. I'm just but do you have an issue with Muslims? Like when I hear a lot of Jews speak, when I hear a lot of Jews speak,
I can easily say that you guys have a problem with Muslims, but it seems like everything that you heard is on YouTube. And
Why is it only a Jew?
I'm sorry, just seeing like an escalation in the type of language that we're using when people are giving valid critiques. And when people are giving valid critiques and they're still tarred and feathered, it makes all the Alex Jones conspiracy stuff more palatable.
No, it's not more palatable. You're just catching up to the information. The truth is in the Epstein files. Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, the two Bills. And you know what? They had a good time with Jeffrey. I've seen all the photos. I've seen the tranche of videos. All the naked women, all the hot tubs, all the luxury dinners. And when Ghislaine Maxwell was making speeches at the United Nations multiple times, well, clearly we have traitors in our midst. And what do you do to a traitor? Hello?
I love Kitover.
Okay, so Scott, let me show you what I mean, because some people are pretending to be obtuse in the chat. So when Kanye West says slavery was a choice, he says the worst things when he says, what the fuck, who's that? George Bush doesn't care about black people. Kanye West has gone after every single ethnicity, and at the same time, he's a person who's known to be clinically diagnosed crazy person, right? This person gets, when you look at all the stereotypes, all of the tropes regarding the small hats, and then you see them flex the banning people from countries. When it comes to one person being racist, you can be racist against one group all you want. They're not going to get... Who's banned from a country because they're racist against anybody? How do you get banned from a country? Like, that's like where it becomes like, okay, and then it becomes, all right, if you criticize them, you're going to be lumped in with Hitler Youth. So then it becomes, okay, we can't even speak about, so then it becomes, all right, like, when it comes to all the tropes about the Jews controlling the media, being super, super powerful, having the right friends in the right places, being very, very strong lobby, being really good at statecraft, controlling countries from inside out. Like, when you look at all the things, are we gonna, like, how are people...
That's a great question, NBC. We've got Abby in the audience, an APAC Democrat lawyer. Come on up, Abby, and tell us what you got, Abby.
You're saying because a group of people has a disproportionate influence to their size, right? They always have a disproportionate, like a Nobel Prizes and all these things. I mean, it's a group that's only 15 million people, and yeah, it has through success and other things have been able to be effective at advocating for their interests. I mean, I think that's not a conspiracy.
Yeah, I don't think it's a conspiracy either. But if I repeat what you just say, I get shouted down and called an anti-Semite. I don't think that it's like Asians being good at math. I don't think it's a big conspiracy that Asians are good at math. I think that there's a lot of different reasons why, on average, Asian children are really, really good at math. Okay, but if I say that on average, Jewish people are this, and that.
Wait a second, do you think it could be because there's over 2 billion Asian people? I think it's because there's over 2 billion Asian people, because I've asked Asian people, how are there so many engineers that come out of India, and how do they all have H-1B visas here in the United States of America? They've got it because there's 1.3 billion Indians, and there's 1.1 billion Chinese. There's a lot of engineers. Hello?
I'm happy to talk, but I really don't feel like...
No, the positive stereotypes are the ones that are scrutinized.
But what you're saying is wrong.
Yeah.
What you're saying is wrong.
So Jews are overrepresented in media.
What you're saying, overrepresented in the media. If we were,
and lobbying,
people like you wouldn't be saying the shit you're saying on social media, now would you? If we're overrepresented and we control it, then why is it so negative towards us? Please tell me.
Explain that one. Why do we have all the problems we have on social media and on the media, and people like you saying the things you're saying if we control
Well,
them?
it
Explain that.
depends
It's
on-
illogical, isn't it? Completely illogical.
If you want it to be,
What else do you want to bitch about us? Is it every day that you like to say something? Could you pick on someone else this week? Yeah, so what else do you want to pick on? What else are you about us bothers you? What else?
So, thank you for asking.
Get it all out.
The
Do
main
we
thing that
control the
bothers me,
sports? Do we control sports?
you guys
Does that
also
bother
control
you?
the weather. You guys also control the weather, and right now it's
Control the
freezing in Oakland, so that's an issue.
Do you think the stuff that you say then gets picked up by other idiots and they harm people as a result of it? Do you have any idea what kind of harm has happened to our community? Do you know? Do you pay attention to it? Do you read about
Well,
it?
do you know how many car accidents are caused by the
Do you know how much harm
You
has
don't
happened
care.
to our
You don't try to make
community?
it sunny, even though you can't.
After the recent incursion into Iran, within 6 days of the incursion, we received 8,000 threat to life in the United States alone to our community, to institutions in our community. 8,000 threats to life in 6 days. That's just a little slice of an example. We spent over $750 million of our own money for security to protect our institutions, to geo-fence them, to target harden them, our own money. Because of shit that's said like this that other people pick up, and then they just start going up the pyramid. Then they start going up the pyramid of hate. And why don't you Google what the pyramid of hate is and learn about how your little comments then grow into a little more discrimination, a little more hatred, until it's the top. Why don't you take a look at
Okay,
it?
so can we calm down? Can I just ask a question?
Calm down. It's really awful to live with it. It's really awful to take children to go to temple and you gotta have SWAT teams to go to your temple. Do you know what that feels like?
I kind of do understand what social violence feels like.
And
yeah.
all this shit just adds to it. And instead of being sensitive to it, you have assholes that say things like this that are being said in social media and then accuse us of controlling it.
Okay, so I'm just going to address a couple of things. One, I believe that in America, from the ages of like maybe 6 or 7, at least on the West Coast where I live, we are taught to be sensitive to the plight of Jewish people. It's taught in education systems all up and down the state, probably any other Jew that are above us as well. I don't know what's going on in the rest of the country. I live in California. We have a whole museum dedicated to educating people on the Holocaust and the plight of the Jewish people.
I know that it's a beautiful museum. I wish you were right. Except the new stuff being introduced into the education system and the ethnic studies in the California education system is a real problem. And there's a lot of issues with it.
I'm talking about in K through 12. So
Yeah, that's where I'm talking about K through 12.
well, they don't do ethnic studies in K through 12.
Well, yeah, it's being introduced. I'll put this stuff in the chat if you want to see.
Oh, you never heard of DEI education? CRT? It's called CRT, baby. Look it up. It was a problem, and it's coming back, baby.
Bro. So while, you know...
Critical race theory is what the acronym stands for. CRT!
Okay, to be honest.
Move them down.
Now the real fascist comes out, ladies and gentlemen. She's not a Democrat. She's a fascist communist.
So Abby, I understand your frustration. I can empathize with your frustration completely. But I think two things can be true. It can be true that the violence against Jewish people in the United States, at least, and probably globally, we can count that, but I'm just going to talk about where I live, right, has exponentially grown in the last at least 3 years, if not more than that, right? While also saying that Jewish people are overrepresented in the media. This is just a raw fact. So, despite being 2% of the population in America, right? You asked a question about Jewish people being like controlling the league. I don't know about the word control. That's like kind of weird to me. But
find that word a little bit.
Yeah, but being like an owner.
Well, who owns the media?
So half of the NBA is owned by.
Media. You said media. So,
well, you said sports, so I'm answering that question first.
We'll get to media.
That's okay. I'm gonna do the thing I'm doing. Cool. So half of the NBA is owned by Jewish people. I don't think that this is bad, but yes, half of the NBA has Jewish owners.
That have Jewish owners?
I can totally get that list for you once I'm done saying what I'm saying. Cool. I think like 30% of the NFL has an owner that is of Jewish descent. I don't think that these things are bad. Like, people want to collectively share in what the American dream can be. That does mean creating teams. It does mean producing media that maybe represents your stories better. It does mean, like, you know, getting involved in the whole fucking machine. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, like, people do use this demonstrably in conversation to demean Jewish people, but admitting that that's a fact isn't a bad thing, right?
Can I ask Scott something?
Yeah, sure.
Scott, is Jeffrey Lurie a bad guy? Scott,
because
is Jeffrey Lurie a bad guy, Scott?
Who's Jeffrey Lurie? I don't know who that is.
He owns the Eagles. Is he a bad guy?
Oh, Jeffrey Lurie. Oh, yeah. No.
He's a good guy. Is Robert Kraft a good guy? Puts a lot of money in his community into Boston and into Massachusetts. Robert Kraft is very philanthropic, right? I go through some more Jewish owners of the NFL that you mentioned.
Now we're going through the
No, but I wanted to talk about Cersei. So you're talking about the media because the media is more interesting, and the word control is the word control is really interesting. So Cersei, may I ask you something? The media. So let's go. NBC is a public corporation, right? Publicly traded. ABC is owned by Disney, publicly traded corporation. Right? Yeah. So I actually own part of the media, I guess, because I'm stock in Disney. So let's go through it. These are publicly traded corporations. The owners, these media giants, publicly traded. Lots of people are owners of these companies because they're traded. They're public corporations. Comcast is a public corporation. So how does one ethnicity control it if it's a publicly traded corporation?
Right. So while you answer to
Disney, by example.
Sure. Well, while a company has to answer to its shareholders, right? There is a person in control or a group of people in control who make the bulk of the decisions. So these might not be like financial decisions all the time, right?
Who would that be?
You're not asking.
Abby, you're actually like, why are you forcing us to be in this corner where it's
She's
like,
a lawyer. She's an answer.
Don't get angry, but when people use terms, the terms aren't defined, and they don't know what they're. NPC. When people use terms, they need to define their terms. Know what they're talking about. So when you use the word a company, define the company. No, I'm not trying to. This is like about trying to. It's like kind of all one other people. No, NPC. What's a publicly traded company? NPC. A lot smarter than you on this. What's a publicly traded company?
You're smart enough to not play these games.
It's not a game. It's logic.
You're playing games.
It's basic logic.
Communicating dishonesty. Nobody said all. No one said all. No one said
You said control the media. So I asked what the media is and who the media is and who owns the media. And they're publicly traded companies.
So guys, it doesn't have to listen.
Control the media.
It doesn't have to be adversarial.
Orange is overrepresented, and then you agree.
You did say it.
It's overrepresented, that's fine.
Oh my lord.
You did say it. So I'm just trying to explain what these companies are. They're publicly traded.
Why is this so
It doesn't have to be like that.
Sony publicly traded, right? David, you live in LA. Let's talk about all the media in LA. Publicly traded companies, Dave?
Democratized ownership. That's not bad. You know that. You know that a publicly traded company
as a board of directors, as institutional investors, correct?
Screwless if nobody's gonna speak.
Go one at a time. Sorry, I didn't hear you start, Scott. One at a time. First, Abby, you want to go?
I was just pointing out when they say that Jews control the media and taking that trope I was taking the trope and explaining that the media, the majority of it, are big publicly traded corporations with institutional investors, all kinds of different individual shareholders. There's a board of directors, and the majority, if we break down the top media companies in the United States, are publicly traded entities. There's not a dude running.
Let me go,
It's,
bro.
let me finish.
Let me go.
So therefore, when you make that comment and you talk about a company,
Nobody made that comment.
you did.
No,
You
I
have
didn't.
to be intellectually honest as to who you are talking about. So for me to ask who the companies are, there was a reason I was asking it. And I'm sorry if you take offense, but it's a little Socratic to make someone go through the process and realize sometimes their statements, you have to break them down. Break down the word control. Every word that you say, there is an explanation or a definition of it. And that was my point. Now
So I'm responding because she just mischaracterized what I said. And I'm not a PC person, so if I said something, first of all, I made a joke that she was controlling the weather. Why didn't you? No, the only thing I said is that I was breaking down out loud the different coincidences that people have to deal with, and I was trying to think out loud, and I was trying to ask the room, hey, all of these different things that are lining up, what are people supposed to think?
Okay, so let's just
Jewish people are overrepresented in the media. That is what I said.
Hold on. What do you say about the media?
No, that's what I said. What I said very succinctly is the only thing that I said was that it's obvious that Jewish people are overrepresented in the media, and no one disagreed with me.
Well, what does overrepresented mean to you?
For percentage. Based on population, Scott agreed. What do you mean, what does it mean? Why do all these, you know what overrepresented
No, I don't. I want to know what you know.
You know what overrepresented based on your population, based on the size of your population, the amount of innocent Nash. Overrepresented just means overrepresented. Black people are overrepresented in sports. There's a reason why Asian people are overrepresented in higher education. There's a reason why.
Black people control sports. Can anybody ever say that?
There are several, actually, there's several jokes. There were several jokes. There are several jokes that we do. There's several jokes. And the only reason why a person might say that they aren't is because all the owners are white.
So black people in sports because they're good at sports, or what's the reason?
The reason why they're in sports is because they're good at sports.
Okay.
When you tell a black person that black people are overrepresented in the media, I can't be offended because that's a fact.
So they're good at slow down. So they're good at sports. Does anybody say, oh my God, we should kick them out of sports?
No. That's what you guys do. As soon as I say that Jews are good at media, the next thing is we want to kick Jews out of media. What does you being good at media?
Wait. Tell Norbo, he's not saying on his face, he's not saying something that's anti-Semitic. I don't know, I can see you might be a giant enemy. I don't need you to I don't need you to I can go fine. I understand how life works. No, I'm very good at it. That's not saying
I'm not gonna ask questions that I'm not gonna answer questions that I believe you know the answer to.
Okay, so you're now reading my mind. You know what I know.
After these are done and you're not done, and you're treating the fact that I'm pointing out the overrepresentation as a conclusion about what to do. That's the reason why you guys get issues. The reason why you guys get issues is because you're treating my statement of facts as a conclusion of what you do about it. You're treating my...
You're making a paranoid racist comment, and I'm exposing it. What do you mean it's racist?
If I start to count them and then I count them, you're gonna call me racist when you're trying to count them. Hollywood. My friends are Jewish. The first
There's
movie
a lot of pride in
this
that.
app was
There's
Jewish.
a lot of
They
pride
gave
in
me
the
books
fact
about-
that
So we
I'm not-
Christians.
Okay, you guys are
The Jews, you guys created Hollywood.
Yes.
I read a whole entire book on it.
There's and there shouldn't be shame. NPC
How's
shouldn't
it
be shame.
anti-Semitic to say that my Jewish friends gave me this book?
I don't want to hear about your Jewish friends. We're talking to you now.
Hollywood's awesome. There's no problem with Hollywood. So what's wrong with saying that Jews are overrepresented in media when
So
they're not?
somebody started an industry. Okay. Now,